Uniform money is going to be unless
Hmm? Jesus. Good evening, everyone. Please, can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. It's
Sir.
nice. It's nice hearing from you guys. Did you guys miss me?
Maybe
Of
Good
small.
evening,
course.
sir.
Good evening. I said, did you guys miss me?
We miss your
We
voice.
missed.
Yes, sir, we missed you.
Yes, we do.
Even if you don't miss me, you'll not say it now, Abby. Anyways, let's get right into it.
We miss you.
So, thank you. So, exam is in how many days? Like a week ish. By this time next week, Tuesday, people that are writing CR and tax will be they'll be on hot seat already. Oh, the Lord is your strength. Okay. Let's get right into the business of today. First of all, welcome back. It's only at the beginning of the diet and at the end of the diet that my class is always very full and it's always filled up. It's very funny. At the beginning and at the end, when we do like this, we know ourselves that we are always together. Some people have never seen them before, but because it's a vision, so you expect me now to divert or tell you things that will come out. That's why most of you are here. I'll just say, okay, this is number one, this is number two. Clap for yourself. So, Allah, thank you for joining us. I'm sure you you would gain one or two today by the grace of God. Anyways, so like I said earlier, we are in revision period. So I don't plan for this class to take long. I'm sure some of you are coming with the intention that I'm coming to solve 200, 300 questions. Believe me, I've done all those things before. I've solved the question. I've explained the explaining. I've given the assignment. I've solved the assignment. So I'm not here to solve 1 million questions or solve 200 questions. And I'm not here to solve questions that will come out because even me myself, I do not know. What I'm here to do is I'm just here to refresh our memory on some of the topics we've spoken about. And I intend to solve that second question on option pricing because I noticed most people that did it got it wrong. So and some people actually sent me some questions also in ICANN Pathfinder on something like that. So I'll solve that question. I'll explain how how some things work in option. That's option pricing. That's the last topic we spoke about, anyways. But apart from that, I'm just here to do a little brush through of most of the things we've spoken about. I'm not here to to solve 365 questions or whatsoever. So and about our revision, I think Mr. Dobe did his own revision on Friday. I mean, no, today is Monday. On Saturday, Mr. Idris, which is business valuation, was supposed to come up yesterday and do his own revision yesterday too. But unfortunately, some unforeseen circumstances occurred, so he could not come in. But he would come in during the week, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. He would come in and do his own revision so that we know that in SFM, I don't care about other courses you are taking. In SFM, we tried and we tried our best. It's not late for you to also try your best. That being said, let's get right into it. I want to show you guys something, and I'm going to say this. Please take a screenshot. Please, nobody should ask me to send because I am not sending for reasons best known to me. I will share you some things and I'll explain what is there. Please do a screenshot if you can. I'm saying this ahead of time so that if you have a second phone or if it's on your computer, hold your phone so that you can just snap it or screenshot. Please, I am not sending this. I beg, I am not sending. And if anybody should screenshot and send to the group chat, I will delete it for reasons best known to me. For reasons best known to me, and I intend to leave it that way. And I don't want anybody to ask me what is happening. It's me that knows what is happening. So I will just open the material on my system. I will explain and go through what is there. Screenshot if you can screenshot anything. Please do not send it to the group chat. And I also will not send it to the group chat. Thank you very much. So I hope everyone can see my screen anyways. My screen is no longer visible.
No.
Somebody has taken my sharing from my hand. I don't know who the person is, but somebody has.
Sir, nothing is showing up.
Yeah. I've noticed. What about? I think it should be showing now.
It's showing, sir.
Thank you.
I think your screen is showing, but it's coming up. Okay.
Thank you very much. So what I actually want to start with, or what I want to start by today, and on telling you is this one now. So what I want to start by is what I I do intend to share on the group chat for reasons also best known to me. So please, if you can screenshot from here, please. So these are some priority theory topics. I'm sure okay, don't let me go there. Anyways, these are some theory topics that you can always read.
Please, I cannot see. Oh,
Paris, I can't see the screen, please.
You cannot
I
see
can't see
anything.
the screen.
It's just plain.
Please, I can't see the screen.
I can't see the screen either.
From here, I can see very clear.
I cannot see the screen.
Aved, please, Aved. Thank you. Get this one again now. Please, what about now? Can you guys see the screen now?
No.
Yes, please, you guys should check
Yes,
your
we can
network.
see
Maybe
it.
it's your network.
Yes,
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 but
I
nothing
can
is
see
written on
it
it.
from my end.
Just plain.
I cannot see.
It's not from my end, please. Oh.
Maybe you have to log out, please, and log in again.
Anybody that is not seeing now, then I think it's from your hand, please. I think it's from your hand because I've done everything possible. So if you cannot see, log out, log in again. I think that would work. Thank you. So, like I was saying, these are the priority theory topics that you can focus on. So, introduction to financial management, which spoke about financial environment, corporate governance. Please just keep muted. Thank you. Agency theory, stakeholders theory, CSR, treasury management, efficient market hypothesis, and ethical issues. Sources of finance, Islamic finance, let's keep muted. Somebody's not muted, please. Islamic finance, corporate failure, business organization, dividend policy, mergers and acquisition. Please, these are the theory topics, and I've advised you guys on theories. Somebody's not muted. Please check your mic and make sure you are muted, please.
Tell me Lawal, please.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, I've told you guys about theory courses and how theories can make you pass. I've given you I've told my story in my classes like 1 million times. I will still tell it again for revision's sake. Calculation, when I was writing ICANN, calculation was not my strong point. I knew it because I did not study any. I was not used to figures. I knew how to write story. I did a science course about chemistry, so like I knew how to write stories, and I knew it from beginning that that's what I was strong on. So that I made sure that any theory that comes my way is done. And how did I know? I've read those theories. I've gone to Pathfinder. Believe me, I've studied all the questions in Pathfinder, and I've read all the theories. And I've studied all the questions in Pathfinders, all the theory questions, how they could come, how they came in the questions. I've studied all of them and I knew the answers to them. So I knew that if I got to the exam or all the theories that I could lay my hands on, I would do them comfortably. So that was my plan. And I made sure I knew most of the topics too. So please don't leave your theory aside. There's still time. Don't think there's still time. So you can learn your. So these are the theory topics. Then calculation topics. So these are all the questions. These are all the topics that I had calculated. Okay, let me go back and say something. On this theory part, believe me, I've taught you guys introduction to financial management. I've spoken about financial environment. I've spoken about corporate governance. I've spoken about agency theory, stakeholders theory, CSR, treasury management, efficient market hypothesis, and ethical issues. Me personally, I know I've spoken about all those ones. And I think Mr. Idris spoke about dividend policy too, Islamic finance, sources of finance, corporate failure. Then Mr. Coyote spoke about business organization, and I think corporate failure, one of them. So we've actually touched all the old theory parts. So please, it's left to you to find those materials and read them. Then from calculation part, replacement analysis, CAPM and portfolio theory, bond valuation, EVA, option pricing theory, interest rate hedging, forecasting and ratio analysis. Please, these are the calculation topics. Good. In these calculation topics now, me particularly, I know I've taught you guys bond valuation. I've taught you guys option pricing. I think those are the only those. Okay, those are the ones I've taught you guys. The Mr. Topper, I've taught you guys CAPM and portfolio theory. I also taught you guys interest rate hedging. Then Mr. Idris has spoken about forecasting. So in all this, what we've actually not spoken about is replacement analysis and EVA. And EVA, for people that did skills, I'm sure you have an idea of EVA from your skills. So in all these calculation topics, it's only replacement analysis that I can say that we actually did not speak about. And like even the centers that you pay for, they don't cover all the syllabus. So it's you that even you cover some of them by yourself. So now moving on. So these are the likely topics for question 1. Likely topics for question 1, which are forecasting, which Mr. Idris already taught you guys. Valuation, which is business valuation. Mr. Tope already spoke about that. Oh, sorry, Mr. Idris also spoke about business valuation. Like I said, it's coming around to come and finish it. Mergers and acquisition. Mr. Idris also already spoke about that. Investment appraisal, my people, we people know that me and you, we've done that one. We've done investment appraisal, we've done APV, and we've done international investment appraisal. If you follow all this and you're sure that you know 60%, you are sure that you know 80% of, okay, then let me be fair. Let me see, you are sure that you know 70% of what is here. Believe me, you are very good to go. It might look like it's not sticking, but believe me, you are very good to go. And if you feel like you know less than 50% of what is here, please, if you are working, try to get a lead from work. If you are not working, if you have been sleeping, maybe you have been limiting your hours, please stop sleeping. If you have been going to Owambe, leave Owambe for now. And if you know that you've done less than, leave Owambe. If you can leave church is not running away. You go back when you are done with this whole exam. Please, if you have been watching Man U, Chelsea, Arsenal, leave all those ones first. All those ones, you come back. Please, let's keep muted, please. So you will still always go back to them. So please, focus. It's not too late. So you can screenshot this, you can snap it. I also kept a disclaimer here. Students are not to rely on this as a prediction of what will feature in the exam. ICANN reserves the right to test any area of the syllabus. Don't say that because Mr. Ola said that these are the likely questions for number 1. Then I brought something else. You say I'm not allowed you to fail. Please, this is a disclaimer. They have the right, but this is just what it has been over the years. You guys do change analysis, so these are just what it has been over the years. People that have been asking me for AOC, because I've seen a lot of DMs asking me for AOC. This is as much as I can go. This is as much as AOC I can send. And nobody should ask me why I'm not sending it to the platforms. Nobody should ask me. Students can be very funny. So please screenshot, snap, and if you screenshot, please do know. If anybody that asks can send it to the person privately, but please don't send to the group chat. Thank you very much. So this being said, let me see if I can run through something else. Okay, so that is that for that. So for my part, these are the topics we've spoken about. We've spoken about agency theory and agency theory and agency conflict. I gave you an assignment. We did bond valuation analysis. We did capital investment decision. We did introduction to SFM. We did money laundering. We did option pricing. But these are our working notes. So those are everything we've spoken about. So now, let me run through everything. So please, the last 30 minutes of this class, or 45 minutes, is what I will use to solve this question, option pricing. And I will not finish it. I'll just explain the basics of the PA, the PE, and the OLEX for you. I will not finish it. You guys are going to finish it. So let me just do a little bit of run through of everything we've spoken about here. Please, can I continue? Are you guys with me? Do you have any question? Do you have any observation? Let me take those real quick before I continue. Are we together? Please give us up your hand and I'll call you. Please give us up your hand.
Your screen is blank.
I just removed it now. Has it always been blank? It's just blank now.
Screen is showing.
My screen is not showing. I think it's from your end because I don't know. Is it still blank like this?
The screen is not blank.
blank.
It's not blank. I think it's the network.
Please, leave where you are. Try to get a better network. Thank you. So please, do you have any observation, any question, any confusion, anything that has shown at the back that I can take before I begin the whole run through? Mr. Clement, do you want to tell me something? Lamide Clement. Okay. Joyce Unwokido, do you want to tell me something?
Yes.
Please know about my screen, please.
No, it's not about your screen. So it's about replacement and EVA. I thought those topics were already moved to skills.
Who moved them? Like in the new syllabus or the old syllabus?
That's what I heard, that it's been moved to skills.
I don't know anything about it being moved. Maybe the new syllabus or anything, but they take them in skills. And I don't know anything about it being moved or not being moved. But we still teach them as I is concerned today.
Okay.
So I don't know about it being moved, but please look at them.
All right.
Look at them.
Okay.
Replacement analysis, particularly, I don't think ICANN will test EVA. They can. Honestly, they can. But I think they test EVA more for skills level. But they can test it anyways. So please, you can look at it too. Thank you. Any observation, any other thing? Can I continue? Please give me reactions if I can continue, if I should continue, please. Real quick. I just want to do a little run through. I'm not just to juggle your memory a little. I'm not here solving questions. Mr. Osman, talk to me. Okay, I can continue.
Yeah, we can continue, boss.
Thank you. Okay. That's good. So let's get right into it. I don't know, you can just be opening the materials. I'm starting from bond valuation. I sent all the materials today. So you can be opening them one by one. But I'm starting from bond valuation and analysis first. I'm just starting from how we did the calculation. I'm not revising anything on the theory. Go and read them. Go and cram them. Anything you can do. Read, cram, anything. Just go and do all the theories by yourself. And I just gave you a hint again of how you can go about the theory part. So I'm not doing any revision on the theory part. Just some of the calculation part, just to juggle your memory a little bit. So I think from after the theories, first thing we spoke about was bond valuation. Good. So I don't know if I'm sure you guys have already read now. It is different from the first time. The first time you guys don't have any idea of what it is. But now I'm sure you guys know, you solved questions and you've seen it. Bond valuation came out last diet. There's a 40%, there's a 60% chance it will not come out this diet. But don't gamble on it. But it might not come out because it came out last diet. I can't really repeat question year to year like that. But anyways, let's just go with it. So what is a bond? I'll just do a recap. You can open your material. I'll just do a recap from my head. I'm sure I'll miss one or two things anyways, but it's a recap anyways. So what is a bond?
Material again for us, please. The material.
I just shared it this morning. Not sharing it again. I just shared it this morning. Today. Somebody, you can ask DM somebody will send it to you, but I don't think I want to say the matter. I've sent it today now, just this morning. I'll be afternoon self. Material is on all the group chats. It's on all the group chats, all of them, because I sent it to all the group chats. Let me see. Somebody saying it's not on SFM4.
Yes, sir. The material is not on SFM4 group.
If I go there and I see it, Madam Mufaito.
I just sent it to SFM4 group now.
And all the materials were sent to all the group chats, including SFM4. I sent everything. Anyways, please don't distract my class. Thank you very much, because I sent all those materials today to all the group chat. I just went on SFM4 too. So please open it. If you're not opening, you can listen to me. So what is bond? Like we all know, or like we should know. So bond is like a contract, it's like an agreement between a bond issuer and a bond holder. Please just listen to me. Just listen to all my story. After I've told you about all this story, I will now try to link it to you so you get a proper idea of what we're actually doing here in SFL. So, like I said, bond is a contractual agreement between the bond issuer and the bond holder. Bond is usually a source of finance. In your source of finance, you would have seen it. Bond is a source of finance for companies generally. Companies use them for source of finance. Even individuals, you still use bond for source of finance. So we have two types of bond. We have redeemable bond and irredeemable bond. I told you that I said A redeemable bond is a bond that at the maturity date, don't worry, I'll explain all this time, but the maturity date, the bond, the bond holder pays both the principal and the interest. It's like you're going to borrow money now. If you go to borrow money or you borrow money from somebody, you can say, okay, at the end of year 2, at the end of year 3, you pay back both the interest and the capital. You borrow somebody 1 million. It's okay. I'm borrowing you 1 million. I'll be paying 10,000 every month. And at the end of 2 years, you pay me my 1 million. And at the end of that 2 years, you would have collected your 1 million naira, which is your capital, and all the 10,000, which is the interest. So that's what we call redeemable bond. But irredeemable bond is the type of bond where you don't pay, you only pay interest. The capital is not particularly paid back. It's just the interest that you pay. Some of those agreements can be like, okay, let's say you borrow somebody 1 million, like we say. So if you amortize 1 million naira divided by, let's say the person is paying 10,000. So 1 million divided by 10,000 can be, let's say, maybe 10 years. So you tell the person, okay, you pay me 10,000 per month or something like that, or per year. So when my 1 million naira is complete, I can now collect maybe, let's say, 2 more year interest. I don't know if I'm making sense, but it's not as if the person is particularly paying you your capital back. So that is what we call irredeemable bond or irredeemable debt. I'm sure you would have heard it when you were doing your cost of capital. That's what we call irredeemable bond or irredeemable debt. Because at the end of the maturity date, the bond issuer, the bond holder is only paying the interest. It's not paying the capital back. So what do we mean by bond issuer? I've been saying bond issuer, bond holder, bond issuer, bond holder. What do I mean by bond issuer? What do I mean by bond holder? Bond issuer are entities, companies that issue bonds. Example, state government, federal government, local government, World Bank. Those are examples of companies that actually issue bond. Bond holders, what are bond holders? Bond holders are like the companies that need the bond, that go to borrow money, that go to borrow the bond, or that go to buy the bond. Those are bond holders. So I've mentioned maturity. So what does maturity mean? Maturity date actually means the particular date that is agreed between the bond holder and the bond issuer that, okay, me and you on this particular date, this is the date you pay me back my principal. This is the date our contract ends. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This is the date our contract ends. And maturity of a bond can range from 1 year to like 30 plus years, more than 30 years. So you guys can make that argument. That's what maturity means. Also, let's say face value of a bond. What does face value of a bond means? It can also be called market value, it can also be called par value, whatever you want to call it. Face value of the bond is the principal amount that the issuer, the person that is issuing the bond, is the par value of the par value of the bond is the principal amount that the issuer agrees to repay the bond holder on the maturity date. Let me come again. I said the par value, either face value, either market value. It is the principal amount that the issuer agrees to repay the bond holder at the maturity. And I told you that the par value of a bond is usually quoted at what? 100 or 1,000. Please don't forget. I told you the par value, the face value of a bond is usually quoted at 100 or 1,000. If examiner wants you to use 1,000, it will be stated there. Please read your questions thoroughly. Read your questions very well. And I've told you before, like at this particular point, it's a point where you should stop drinking Gary. Leave Gary first. Eat food so that you can see where. Read your questions thoroughly and look at it. If examiner tells you to use 1,000, please use 1,000. If examiner does not specify, you can use any one you want, either 1,000 or 100. But usually quoted 100 or 1,000. Thank you. Total par value, we also have what we call coupon rate. You guys know what coupon is. Coupon is like interest. Like the example I gave, the money that the bond gone is 1 million naira, but the interest you are paying on this is 10,000. 10,000 in this particular scenario is like 10% of 1,000 or 1 million. It's like 10% of, I don't know the exact percent, but let's just assume 10%. So 10% is like the coupon rate. So that's the interest that you are paying on such a bond. So now we have what we call yield. Yield is like a rate of return that bond holders that they expect on their investment. So that bond issuers expect on their investment, not bond holders, bond issuers that they expect from their investment. So now, what do I mean by rate of return? What I mean by rate of return is, let's say now, example, you want to make an investment and they tell you that this investment you are making now, the initial outlay, like the amount that you're using to start is 1 million naira. And at the end of it, the profit you're making is 120. So let me use 100,000. It's 100,000, but the amount of profit you're making at the end is 120,000. So now if you subtract 120 from 100, so the total profit now you're making is 20,000. So if you do 20,000 divided by 100, so 20% is your rate of return. I'm just assuming you guys know these things. So I cannot start explaining rate of return. I know you guys know it. I'm sure that you know it. So rate of return is like 20%. It's just like a percentage that you're expecting on the investment you are making. That is what yield is. Yield is just like the name implies now, yield on your investment. So that is that. So we have two types of yield. You have current yield, you have yield to maturity. If you are with my material now, you can see the formula for current yield there, which I said is the coupon over market price times 100/1. Coupon over market price times 100/1. Your coupon, like I explained, is your what's the name? Is the interest. So which is like they would have given to you in the question. The market price of a bond would also be given to you in the question. So that is for current yield. Nobody will ask you about current yield in ICANN exam, I beg. You are not doing ANAN here. In ICANN exam, nobody will ask you for current yield. So now the most important one now is the yield to maturity. Is the yield to maturity. How do you calculate your yield to maturity? If you have my material there, I gave how to calculate yield to maturity. I said yield to maturity can also be called your internal rate of return. And your internal rate of return can also be called your trial and error method. So anywhere you see calculate yield to maturity, first thing that should come to your head is your IRR. What does IRR? IRR is your internal rate of return. So you guys know the way we do IRR now. Our IRR formula, which is your A plus your bracket NPVA over NPVA plus NPVB plus bracket B minus A. Your NPV is your NPV of like higher NPV, lower NPV, higher NPV, positive NPV, negative NPV, anyone you want to call it. Some people call it higher, some people call it positive. Anyone, as long as you understand the concept of what you are doing. So yield to maturity is simply IRR. Please let me tell you something. I've had students, even in my class, say that when you are doing IRR, it's not compulsory you use a positive NPV. It's not compulsory you wait for a positive NPV and a negative NPV. You can just get the two and use it like that. I don't know the centers you've been to. You can if you want to. But from my own perspective, I think you should do as the syllabus implies. You do as everything that's said, as the real formula implies, because the real formula is telling you that you must use a positive NPV and a negative NPV. Why do you guys want to change it? The formula is telling you that use a positive NPV and a negative NPV, a positive discount factor and a negative discount factor. Why do you want to? I'm sure that people that implemented that thing, it's just a way to keep, because the problem is, how do you decide a positive discount factor? You not be trying until you get the positive and a negative discount factor. I'm sure that's the whole scenario behind it. But this thing is easy. Like I said, I've told my students, and if you guys remember, I've told you before, the higher your discount factor, the lower your NPV. Even if you know that terminology, is easy. The higher your discount factor, the lower your NPV. So now, if you do a discount factor, let's say you use 5% for a discount factor now, and you get, let's say you get 13 as NPV, just 13 as NPV, and your discount factor is 5. You should know, just your common sense should tell you that if you should increase that discount factor to like 10, 15, 20, that NPV will reduce from 13 to like 10, 8, 7. And from 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, you are going to minus. So if you keep increasing that discount factor, obviously you get to minus down. So it's just that common, it's just that scenario. If you know how to use that, you are very fine. But somebody that has picked 5% as discount factor, you've gotten 13 as your NPV, you are now still reducing your discount factor. Obviously, the NPV will keep increasing now. Your 13 will keep going to 15, will keep going to 16. So you will not get the negative that you're supposed to get. That is just the whole scenario there. That is just the basics. And I've told you guys before in my class, I said that, okay, if you want to do your yield to maturity, your first discount factor that you assume should be your coupon rate. Please, if you're not in my class, please go and watch our bond valuation video again. Please, it's on Apex YouTube. I told you, I said, if you want to do your yield to maturity, the first discount factor, if you want to do your yield to maturity, the first discount factor that you assume should be your coupon rate, which is your interest, which will be given to you in the question. Then you can just guess and move around the other discount factor. So if you guys check our IRR, your IRR will start with your year zero. You do your current value, like the current value of the bond, which would have most likely be given to you in the question. After that, you do the annual interest payments. If it's year 1 to 3, you put the interest payments there. Let me open the material so maybe you guys can be seeing what I'm doing. If I open the material, the class will take longer. Anyways, let me just open so you guys can be seeing some of the things we did in the class. So see what I'm saying? I'm saying that so you can use the current market value 106. This would have been given to you in the question. The annual interest, year 1 to 5, this is our coupon. Then you discount it. This is we did annuity here to give us present value. Then year 5, redemption value is always 100 or 1,000. And I explained to you, some of you in your centers, or you read some materials, or if you read some textbook, I've said it before. I said that some books, this would be year 1 to 4, 10. Then on year 5, what will be here will be 110. It's still the same thing. What I'm saying is, you are paying interest now. You're paying interest year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5. Year 5, okay, let's say year 1 now you pay 10. Year 2 you pay 10. Year 3 you pay 10. Year 4 you pay 10. Year 5 you are paying 110 because you pay the principal amount and you pay the what and you pay the interest. So you can either account it that okay, you are paying the interest separate. This is what we did, which is what we did. That we are paying the interest separate and the principal to separate. And you can either say that you are paying year 1 to 4, then on year 5 you are paying 110. It's still the same thing. So you assume a positive discount factor, a negative discount factor. You do your work. You do your IR, which is your yield to maturity. That being said, I also went ahead to speak about the value of the bond. Let me say something. Let me tell you. I know some of you might be like, okay, bond came out last diet, bond will not come out this diet. This is why some people fail SFM, because they don't know SFM is actually intertwined. SFM is very, very intertwined, and I will explain at the end of this class. So please, if you want to see the connections of all these things, please wait till the end of the class so that I can explain. I don't want to waste my time now because I have a lot to do, but please wait till the end of the class so that I can explain how bond valuation can come. Again, that will not be a standalone question. It can even come in plenty ways, and it would even come. So you need to know it. So let's continue, please. So after this, we spoke about, okay, let's leave all this here. We spoke about how to calculate the value of a bond, where I gave you this formula. This formula is what I give you, and how to calculate the value of a bond. So the value of a bond can be calculated in 2 ways, either a formula method or a tabular method. And I told my students, I said, please use the tabular method because it's easier. This formula method is somehow, you can press calculator, the calculator will give you rubbish. You might forget to put minus n and put plus n. A lot of things can happen with this formula. So I told my students to please use the tabular method. But this is what the formula method is. Your interest is your coupon. So let me explain something. Anybody that was in my class will understand what I'm trying. We understand because I broke this formula down. This formula is still what we did in that tabular method. Interest, all the interest we've been doing, we'll be discounting it now annuity. This is your annuity formula. So this is just us using annuity formula. One man, this is our annuity like this. So this is us using annuity to discount this interest plus face value of a bond, which is 100 or 1,000. So this is us doing our normal discounting for our face value, and we're adding it together, which is basically still what we did here. You use your 1 to 5 annuity, you discounted it, then your year 5, you use your normal discount factor, then you added it together. And that's just basically what we did here. So that's how to calculate the value of a bond. So you can either use this formula or you use the tabular method formula, which is what we spoke about in all these places. So here we use, I think here we use the tabular method is easier. Like, it's not like it's easier, it's faster. Let me say it's faster. If you know how to use calculator very well, if you are very sure you know how to use natural display calcio very well, you can use anyone. You can use the formula method. See the formula method, just 4 lines. See the tabular method too. This one too is not a lot, low-key, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. But if you know how to use all these things like this, you can place it on calcio natural display, put everything on it once, and you get your answer. That's if you know how to. If you don't know how to use calculator, come and do it like this. JJ. So you can either use this, you get your value of a bond. Then from there, we moved on. Then we went to a situation where, the ones we've been doing, we went to a situation where they could give us different value for our yield. Like let's say, all the ones we've been doing, they can say, okay, yield is just 5%. But what if they tell us, okay, for year 1, yield is 5%, for year 2, yield is 10%, for year 3, yield is yield to maturity is 15%. How do you go about it? So I gave this formula, that this is the formula you use whenever your yield to maturity is different. So your CF is your coupon of year one over 1 plus that yield to maturity of year one that was given to you plus your coupon of year two over 1 plus, this is 2 over 1 plus your yield to maturity of year two that was given to you like that. And on the last year, your coupon plus your face value over your 1 plus R of your 1 plus yield to maturity of the last year that was also given to you. And I think we did one example, very good. This our bond valuation class went very well. We also did one example. The example we did was like this. So see what they gave us. This is our yield curve. They gave us different yield to maturity in this particular question. Then we asked to calculate the price of the bond. So which was what we did. We did our face value, our coupon. This is our coupon. Our coupon is at 5%. Our coupon of 5% at the face value. So please, if you have not, if all these things I'm saying is like gibberish to you, please go ahead. I'm sure it's not supposed to be. An exam is next week, so I'm sure you guys know these things already. But if you are here and it's like gibberish to you, please go back to our video and watch what we did here. So we now use the different yield to maturity that was given to us. So see year one, 3.5%. Please always convert this into decimal. Always convert this into decimal, please. So we did 0.035 year one, 0.4 year two, year three. On the last year, we collected the 100 naira back plus this 5% of our coupon for this. So we added it together. That's our present value. And the question also went ahead and said we should calculate the gross redemption yield, which actually means that you should calculate your yield to maturity. So we also went ahead to calculate our yield to maturity here, which is, since here we assume 5%, we assume 10%. We use this current market value now because it's the same question. That means it's question one that is linked to question two. So we use this our current market value here. So calculate that represents our year zero. Yeah. So like that we did for year one. Then we used our IRR for year one, and then I gave this assignment. I gave this as assignment. So that is that. Let me also go to. Let me also explain credit spread. I think that's the last one on duration. But credit spread is basically like it's like it's like a rate that is above the risk-free rate of return. Now I already told you what the rate of return is now. So the risk-free rate of return. So just a rate ahead of it. They will give you different spread. The thing is, under this credit spread, please listen to me here. Under this credit spread, we have what we call credit rating. I explained in class that we have AAA, we have AAA plus, we have AAA minus, we have AA, we have AAA. Okay, no, we have AAA, AA plus, AA minus. Then we have AA, we have AA plus, we have AA minus. Then we have A, we have A plus, we have A minus. Then we have BBB, like that. I can people, they are very funny. What they will do to you is, like I always said, like I told you, stop drinking Gary at this point. Read your questions very well. What they will tell you in their whole story, don't be tired of reading story. In their whole story, they will have told you that, okay, this company their credit rating is AA. They are telling you that their credit rating is AA. Then when they now come to the question, the body of the question, they will now give you like different type of credit rating. They'll give you AAA, they'll give you BBB, they'll give you CC, then they also put that AA, the one that they said the company is. So it's not left for you to know that, okay, since the company's credit rating is AA, so you just go to the body of the question, all the credit rating that you see. So you know the only one you are using for those credit rating is AA. The rest are useless. They're just trying to whine you. I can go whine you, but no panic. So it's the one that they said that they told the company is rated AA. So just go to the body of the question, look for AA, bring out all the credit spread, and come and convert them to basis points. How do you convert your credit spread to basis points? You divide it by 100. You guys know those one. You know that one already now. You divide it by 100. So if they tell that your credit spread is 200, 300, 400, just come and divide it to basis points. So if you say 200 or you say 300, just divide it by 100, that's 3%. Always leave your credit spread in percentage. Always leave it in percentage. So if they give you 300 as credit spread, convert it to basis point, that's 300 divided by 100, that's 3%. So that's it in basis point. Convert it to basis points. Whatever you get, add it to your yield to maturity, then that will be your discount factor. We spoke about that already. You guys know. Let me come again. After you've converted your credit spread to basis points, you have to convert your credit spread. So this 5 basis points. See this 5 now. This example now, this 5 basis point already. So now let's now assume our yield to maturity in this question now is like let's say 7%. That's 7%. So what you do is you add 0.05 plus 7, not 5. We don't add 5. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. Let me explain what I'm saying again. You know that in your mind now, I told you that from your credit spread, first convert your credit spread to your basis point first. Good. How do you convert your credit spread to basis point? Let's say they give you 50 credit spread, 50. So 50 divided by 100 is what? I don't know. What's my calculator? Somebody should tell me 50 divided by 100 is what? 0.5. Good. That's 0.5 basis points, which is 0.5%. Which is 0.5%. So if that's 0.5%. So if your yield to maturity is now 7, so you just add your yield to maturity to your basis points. That 7% plus 0.5 automatically gives you 7.5%. So it's that 7.5% that you will use to discount. That's what will now serve as your new yield to maturity. So that's what you will use to discount. I explained all this. Let me see if I solved any example on it. But I'm sure I explained this already. So this is how to determine your credit rating. That's when I was explaining credit rating. So please, I hope that credit spread part. I just hope it's clear. I just hope it's clear. But let me go through it. Let me go over it for the last time. What I'm saying is credit rating. We have what we call credit rating. AA, AAA, BBBs, like that. They will give it to you in your question. Don't cram anything. They will give that to you in your question. So they will tell you in the story that okay, this company's credit rating is BBB. So it's just your own work. Just go to the body of the question. Look at their credit spread. Look for the one that has BBB. Then bring out all the credit spread. Maybe for year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Just bring out all those credit spread. Then convert it to basis point. How do you convert those credit spread to basis point? If it's 70, if it's 80, if it's 90, if it's 100, just divide it by 100. If it's 80 divided by 100 is 0.8%. Then whatever you have, add it to your yield to maturity. Then go and use that to discount. If your yield to maturity was 10% and your yield to maturity was 10%, then you've done your basis point. Your basis point was like 0.5. Just add 10% plus 0.5. That's 10.5%. Then go and use 10.5% as your new yield to maturity. Oh, my voice has gone. So that is that for that. Let's go to bond duration. Duration measures the sensitivity of the bond's full price to changes in interest rate. Good. We have two types of bond duration. We have Macaulay duration. We have modified duration. Macaulay duration. There's a formula to Macaulay duration. What Macaulay duration? This is the formula to Macaulay duration. This plenty formula. This big formula is formula for Macaulay. You guys always know. I like to always use the easy route. So I told my students to just use the tabular method. This is the tabular method. So the tabular method is just what you've been doing. But please note duration. This can get you stuck for like 2 hours because you feel like you know this duration, but at one particular point you'll just be stuck. Why can you be stuck? You can be stuck because some students feel like you should use maybe you should use some students will be using year 0, which is your current price for this, and it will not work. So please, when you're doing duration, don't use year 0, don't use current price. Start from year 1. So your year 1, use your cash flow, you discount it, you get your PV. So when you get your PV, you now get weight. How do you get weight? Your weight is your PV multiplied by your number of years. 5.56 multiplied by 1, 5.14 multiplied by 2, all of them. So when you get it, you now do your summation of your total weight divided by your summation of your PV, which is what we did here. Total weight over total PV. Then we got our number of years. And that is how to get your duration. And your modified duration is your Macaulay duration over 1 plus R. Your R, which is your what? Which is your yield to maturity. So you do that. So you cannot do modified duration if you've not done Macaulay duration. So you need to do Macaulay duration first to do modified duration. So when you do your Macaulay duration, you just come and put it here over 1 plus R, your R, which is your yield to your what? To your maturity. Le bâton. Yeah, so we solved all these questions in class. Please, you can always go back and look at the solutions to those questions and how we went about it. So let me tell you how before I take your questions, let me tell you how bond valuation is linked to other part of SFM. Bond valuation is linked to that part of it and is linked to the most important part of SFM. What part is it? Your mergers and acquisition. How is it linked to your mergers and acquisition? It's linked to your mergers and acquisition because you need to discount your mergers. You need to SFM is sweet, low key. You need to discount your mergers and acquisition with either your cost of equity or your WACC. Whether you can use cost of equity, you only use your cost of equity if the company is financed by only equity. You use your WACC when the company is financed by both equity and debt. But the problem now is, if you have to use, let's assume you have to use WACC. WACC now is combining of your cost of equity, your cost of debt, and your cost of preference shares. Good. When you are doing your cost of debt, now you guys know that you can, for your cost of debt, you can either have a redeemable bond or irredeemable bond. When you are doing irredeemable bond, the formula for your irredeemable bond is dividend over market price times 100, dividend over your XDiv share price. You guys know those rubbish that people were doing. So all those times 100, that is how you do your irredeemable. But for your redeemable bond now, the only way to do your redeemable bond is by doing IRR. And IRR is practically your yield to maturity, which is the same thing I just explained now. So if you don't know this yield to maturity, you cannot know that cost of debt. If you don't know your cost of debt, you cannot get your WACC. If you don't get your WACC, you cannot discount your either your investment appraisal or even if it is your business or your mergers and acquisition or your business valuation, you cannot discount it. If you don't discount, what are you now doing? Don't even making sense. This same yield to maturity, this same IRR method is what you still use. You know, like I said, you do your cost of equity, you do your cost of debt, you have cost of preference shares. In your cost of preference shares, you have redeemable preference shares, you have irredeemable preference shares. So in your irredeemable preference shares, the formula to get your irredeemable preference shares is still like the same thing that I just explained now, which is the formula to calculate your irredeemable bond is your interest open bracket 1 minus T over I think XDiv share price. I'm not so sure. But for preference shares, your preference shares is your dividend over XDiv market price. That is your cost of irredeemable preference shares. But how do you get redeemable preference shares? It's still through this IRR method. Anybody that has read very well knows what I'm talking about. It's still through this method by doing this yield to maturity. So you've seen where bond valuation actually links to all those periods. So you need to know it irrespective of whatever you are doing. There was a particular question somebody sent to me one day. It was on business valuation. The cost of debt was a proper bond valuation question. It was a whole bond valuation question. So you see what I can is saying? There isn't one stone to kill 1 million birds because they're already testing on bond valuation inside your mergers and acquisition. Inside the mergers and acquisition. So that is how they do it. So if you say bond valuation, you don't want to know it, you're your own. So please always try to learn it. So that is where it is linked to that. Please, can I continue? I'm out already penning me. Just a lot. Oh, yeah. Do I have any observation, any confusion, any conclusion? Mr. Jagasolo, talk to me. Oh, yeah. You should talk fast. Is there any question regarding anything I've said?
No, sir.
No, sir, you can continue.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
You
can continue.
Yeah. So that is how bond valuation actually comes in to the SFM. So please, you need to learn it. You need to know it. Good. So after bond valuation, we move to international capital investment. Please, on this one, I will not explain it too much because even in our class, we used about how many months to do international capital investment appraisal. So I'll just do a little bit of run through, just a very, very little bit. I will not waste too much time on it so that I can solve that option pricing question. So these are our capital investment decisions. For me and now, we started with, don't let me open this material because I open this material, I will stay long on it because I'll be forced to explain some things that I said here. That's my nature. So let me just pick the ones I can remember from my head, and from there we can always. But don't worry, we'll do it. So we did capital investment decision, where I told you that capital investment decision is just the means of it's just like capital budgeting. It's just process of like committing fund into long-term project. That is just what capital investment decision is. Example that everybody can relate to. If you stay in Lagos or you stay in Ibadan or you stay anywhere, you see government repairing roads. That's an example of a capital investment decision, because they are making investment into like a long-term project. They are committing funds into a long-term project. Believe me, before a government, or okay, I don't want to use government because they are like politics. They are dirty. They are like they always have ulterior motive. But in a normal and a sane society, before a government can commit or comment or go into any capital budget, the finance people would have checked the viability of that project. Okay, is it viable? Is it not viable? Should we go ahead with this project or should we not go ahead with this project? So let me consider this bond valuation, because so that you guys will not think that's what I'm saying. So they would have checked, is it viable or is not viable? Should we go ahead with this project or we should not go ahead with this project? There are a lot of things that have been kept into consideration while trying to make that particular decision. Good. So I'm not saying that there are two methods of doing capital budgeting, which is we have the discounted cash flow method and the non-discounted cash flow method. Please, you can open the capital budgeting material now. I've moved from bond valuation now. So you can open the capital budget material now if you have it. If you don't, listen to me. I said that we have the discounted cash flow method and we have the non-discounted cash flow method. The discounted cash flow method, like the name implies, all the cash flow, all the method that you know that has to be discounted. Example, your MPV, your internal rate of return, your modified internal rate of return, your discounted payback period. MPV, you guys know your normal MPV now. Your item, discount factor, cash flow, get your present value, summation gives you your MPV. It's still the same thing. So after that, that's what led us to MPV. After MPV, the decision go of MPV. If the project is positive, Abi, if the project is positive, accept. If it is negative, reject. But for mutually exclusive projects, what mutually exclusive project means for like two projects that you want to compare. So anyone that has a higher positive MPV, accept it. So that is what MPV is. Internal rate of return is what I just finished explaining now, which is your IRR, your trial and error method. You're trying one positive MPV and trying to discount factor, get a positive MPV and a negative MPV, and use the normal IRR formula to get your internal rate of return. Your modified IRR, the formula is in the material. Please check the material and check for the formula. But the formula for your IRR, I gave two formulas that day, and I told you the one to use. I said, please always use the one of your PV of cash inflow over PV of cash outflow, if I'm correct, over close bracket raised power 1 over n times 1 plus r. Please check that formula and confirm if it is correct. That is what I said is your modified internal rate of return, in which I explained and we solved questions on it, and which also led us to our payback period. So discounted payback period. First, the discounted payback period. So that was the part that ended our discounted cash flow method. Then the non-discounted cash flow method is our payback period and our accounting rate of return. All these I explained in class very well, safe, and we solved about how many questions on them. This particular part took us about how many months. So I don't expect any problem with this part. So after that, it led us to the major NPV, which involves our variable cost, our variable cost, our fixed cost, our depreciation, our incremental cash flow, our working capital, our opportunity cost, and our sunk cost. All those things are in the materials. It led us to the cash flows that are going to be relevant and the ones that are going to be irrelevant. And I explained to you the type of cash flow that are going to be relevant and the ones that are not going to be that are irrelevant. Please watch that introduction video, because I used a particular acronym, but I don't forget. But I use a particular acronym that day to check to always make you to know the ones that are relevant and the ones that are irrelevant. Please watch that video. Capital investment decision, the beginning. Abi. But I used a particular acronym, but I've forgotten now, sha. So I told you the type of cost that would be relevant to your cash flow, the ones that will not be relevant. So we in that class we said that any kind of cash flow that is not that does not involve movement of cash, should not should not be relevant to that cash flow. Example of movement of cash is depreciation, amortization. All those things does not involve movement of cash. We just calculate them so that we can account for them. It's not as if we are paying for depreciation. It's not as if we are paying for the amortization, but we are just accounting for them. And I also said that the example of cash flows that would be relevant now. Learn about the ones that will be relevant now. FDM test. That be. I've forgotten. And I said that the ones that would be relevant, anyone that if it is incremental, because it needs to be incremental, and they need to tell you that okay, this one is going to go at this part for year one, it's going to go by this for year two, it needs to go by this for year three, it needs to go by this for year four. So example of such costs, they are relevant to your cash flow. I also said that sunk costs are costs that have already been incurred. So in all these costs are costs that I can will give you. They will give you everything, even as many as possible. So it's not you that will now use your intellect to know the ones that you need and the ones that you don't need. If you see a cost that they tell you that okay, they will tell you story, then they tell you that during the process of the investment, 3 million naira was spent on research, for the land, and 2 million naira was spent on developing the research. They just give you, they know how to cook stories. They're supposed to be story writers. They'll just cook all those stories. But like I said, that some costs they are costs that have already been incurred. And I think I gave one example that I cannot forget. The example that I gave was Lagos agents. Good. Before you go and do inspection, if you want to collect house, before you go and do inspection, they'll tell you to bring this inspection money or be inspection fee. Some people, before they see house, they will pay they can pay 10 agents inspection fee. But what I'm not telling you is that inspection fee is not particularly relevant to that cash flow. Why is it not relevant? It's not relevant to the cash flow because you can pay inspection fee and you get to the house and you don't like it. Will you collect your inspection fee back? No, you cannot collect it back now. So that is gone. It's not relevant to that part. It's not particularly relevant to your decision making. Inspection fee money is not relevant to either you will collect the house or you will not collect the house. If you get to the house, you get to the house and you don't find water. You get to the house, they don't have POP. You get to the house, they don't have security, they don't have fence, they don't have anything. Those are the things that are relevant to maybe you collect the house or you will not collect the house. The face of the agent, the amount you pay the agent is not relevant to whatever decision you are going to make, either to collect the apartment or not collect the apartment. Let's not even assume that after you've given inspection fee, you now stepped out of the apartment. Agent has now gone. It's something I used to do. Agent has now gone. You just go to the nearest woman beside you, or the nearest shop, the nearest person beside you. You count like 3,000 Lagos people. You give the person 3,000. You say, Chief, I beg, tell me everything. Do you stay in this street? You say yes. Tell me everything you know about this house. The person gives you all the details. That is a research fee that you paid. That is still not relevant. So either you collect the house. The information is going to give you might be relevant, but that particular money that you paid is not relevant to either you collect the house or you don't. Because you can still pay that with or without the 3,000, you can collect the house, and you might not collect the house. So that is an irrelevant cost. It's a cost that has already been incurred. So if you see such cost in your questions, just know that they are not relevant to your cash flow. And we just spoke about opportunity cost. We said opportunity cost is a relevant cash flow. It's very relevant. If they say that okay, like you guys, an opportunity cost is just like a forgone, like opportunity forgone, like a cost forgone. What that means is if you don't choose A, you will choose B, but the cost of losing A is what we just mean by opportunity forgone. So that is just what opportunity cost means. Simply, an opportunity cost is relevant to the cash flow. If they tell you that, okay, if you don't collect this apartment now, this apartment is 12,000 naira, then this other one is 8,000 naira. You decide, okay, at the end of the day, I'm not going to collect this one. Is this one I'm going to collect? And that particular point, you've lost one. So that particular cash flow is an opportunity, because an opportunity forgone. So that will be dead in your cash flow. I'm just trying to explain what will be needed. And also in all this, we spoke about inflation, we spoke about taxation. So in the inflation, we spoke about the general inflation and the specific inflation. The general inflation is the one that we spoke about, that okay, this is an inflation that is general. That is general in the particular economy. Now there's a general inflation in Nigeria, generally. So that is what we mean by general inflation. But a specific inflation, this is like it is specific, like the name implies now. It is particular to to a particular, maybe a particular industry, particular aspect. That is what specific inflation is. And we spoke about the effect of inflation in the cash flow, where I spoke to you about money cash flow and real cash flow. Yeah. Where I spoke to you about money cash flow and real cash flow. I said that money cash flow, these are cash flows that they have been incorporated with inflation. Inflations are already, they've been incorporated. That's what we mean by money cash flow. And real cash flow, in real cash flow, inflation has not been incorporated. For your money cash flow, what inflation means is they can tell you that, okay, they tell you that your sales as at year zero. And I told you that when you hear anywhere here as at now, immediately, currently, what they mean is year zero. Please. That is what they mean, year zero. So they now say that, okay, year one now, this thing is going to increase by 10%. Or it's going to be increased by 20%. The moment you increase that thing, inflation has already taken place. You've inflated that price. You know, now the way you go now, 1.10 times whatever, that's a hair. So you go. So inflation has already been incurred. That's what we mean by money cash flow, real cash flow. And I also told you that the way we have money cash flow and real cash flow is the same thing. The same way we have money cost of capital and real cost of capital. Money cost of capital is a cost of capital that has been inflated, while real cost of capital is a cost of capital that has not been inflated. And I told you that always use money cost of capital to discount money cash flow, and always use real cost of capital to discount real cash flow. On no occasion should you use real cost of capital to discount money cash flow. And on no occasion should you use money cost of capital to discount a real cash flow. So what I'm saying is, in some questions, I can they are very fun. They will give you the OMPV question. The normal way, and they tell you that sales goes by 10%, variable cost is going by 5%, working capital is going by 3%. All these things, everything is going, and determine MPV. After time, they will not tell you that. But and the company has decided that they will use a real cash flow of 7%. Any student that uses that 7% exactly to discount that cash flow, you've gotten it wrong. Because it is wrong. You cannot use a real cost of capital to discount a money cash flow. So what do? You convert the real cost of capital to a money cost of capital, then you use it to discount the money cash flow. And if you check the material, I sent out to discount a real cost of capital to money cost of capital, and how to discount a money cost of capital to real cost of capital. Please look at the material very well. We also spoke about taxation, which is where we spoke about capital allowance, balancing allowance, balancing charge, current year, what's the name, and arrears. We said that taxation, thank you very much. We said that taxation can either be paid in the current year or it will be paid in arrears. Arrears means that a year after the profit was made, if profit was made in 2020, taxation will be paid in 2020. Profit of 2021, tax will be paid in 2022. All this. Now we spoke about when we are doing your capital allowance. Your capital allowance is usually to reduce the tax paid. Your capital allowance is usually to reduce the tax paid. So when you are doing your capital allowance, don't forget the way we do our capital allowance. Please check all the solutions on our working note. You see how we treat capital allowance. And your capital allowance, you always get a balancing allowance or a balancing charge. And I told you that balancing allowance, of course, when your tax setting down value is greater than your sales proceeds. or when your sales proceeds is less than your tax written down value, is the same thing. That's your balancing allowance. And your balancing charge is when your tax written down value is less than your sales proceeds, or when your sales proceeds is greater than the tax written down value. So that is what we mean by balancing charge. Which is and the types, the method of calculating capital allowance, straight line method or reducing balance method. Lastly, we spoke about working capital. Working capital is what gives students problem most in exam. So please don't forget working capital. Like I said to you, let me explain the scenario behind working capital. Like the name implies, working capital. It's like most of you that do businesses, it's just like a money that you're just using to work. The way you're just sending your money work. Okay, working capital. Okay, okay. And this is the amount I want to invest in this business, but I need this particular money for circulation. Okay, now you want to sell. Let's say you want to sell pack of water. You've collected shop. You've paid the people that will be supplying you truck. Good. But there's still a particular fund that you say, okay, well, I'm collecting sales boy, or even money for the truck. Let's even say money for the truck is also a working capital. Money for the truck is also a working capital. So when you are beginning the business, let's say that 1 million, that 2 million naira is a working capital. So in year zero, working capital should always be an outflow at year zero. At the beginning of the contract, at the initial outlay at year zero, working capital should always be an outflow because you are spending it, you are incurring it at that particular year. But over the years, the money that you will now be incurring will not be that 20 million naira again now. So now you paid 20 million naira for one truck, or you paid 20 million for one truck of Aquarana Aquarite. They deliver that one truck to you, but you have not sold that one truck. You've not finished. You just said, obviously you will not sell the old one truck now before you're going to buy another one. It's common business sense. It's not until you sell the old thing that your shop is now empty that you're not going to buy another one now. No. So let's say you sold 200,000. That 200,000 now is what you remove, and you give the person that gives you truck and say, please bring 200,000 watts. That 200,000 watts, you sell it again. You collect another one. So that's the way working capital works. Until at the end of the whole thing, maybe the whole 1 year you are not done. Okay, please now you now collect all your money back and all the working capital. That's just how working capital works. If you know that scenario in your head, you will not have a problem. So what we are saying is at the end of the year, is the amount of the working capital. Let's say the working capital is 20,000. That's what will be in year zero. But in year one now, you have sold 200,000 extra now. All your money is now 20,200,000. Abi, but that 20 million will not be there because it's still in the business. So it's just the difference. It's just the increment in the working capital that you'll be taking account for. So it's just the 200,000 naira now that will be in year one, and it will still be an outflow because you are giving it out to collect more pack of table water now. So you give the 200,000 out. The next year now, you do 500,000. It's still the difference between 2.5 and 2 million. That's 500,000 that will still be there. It will still be an outflow. Then at the end of the whole year, year 4, year 5, at the end of the whole year of the project, you collect both your initial outlay and all the working capital together. Your business would have increased now. Your 20 million naira and your 200,000 naira, your 500,000 naira, all the outflow. So at the last year now, be an inflow to you. That's just simply how working capital works. That is simply how working capital works, and that is all you need to know. So if you have that at the back of your head, believe me, you will be fine. So that is all on capital investments. We also spoke about adjusted present value. We spoke about international investment appraisal. Please watch all the videos of those classes so that I can have a perfect idea of the things we did. After that led us to option price. I don't want this class to be to last longer than 10. That's what I'm trying to. You guys know these things already now. So that led us to option pricing. Option pricing was where we spoke about the call option, the put option, what an option is, exercise price, strike price, intrinsic value, expiration date, American style option, European style option, all those things. So we said a call option is the option to buy, is a put option is the option to sell. Abi, that's what we spoke about.
Yes.
Good. So we spoke about after that we spoke about, I explained what the factors that affect the value of an option, the value of the underlying, the exercise price, the time to expiration, the risk free, the volatility. I explained all those things one by one, and I told you to learn this behind it. I said it in class that whether one increases, what decreases. Please, I said it. You guys cannot say I did not mention it. I even gave it as one of the questions I gave, Seth. I told you guys to go and check it. The relationship between these factors and to either call or put option. So either exercise price increases when it's a call option or it decreases to put option, the relationship. I told you guys to go and learn that day. To turn off this notification. So that being said, we also spoke about moneyness of an option, where I said that we have in the money, at the money, out of the money. Here we said that in the money is when the value of the underlying exceeds the exercise price, Abi. And at the money is when the value of the underlying is equal to the exercise price. Then out of the money is when the value of the underlying is less than the exercise price, which then led us to our Black-Scholes option pricing model, in which we give a formula for call option and a formula for put option. And I also explained put call parity, where I said that put call parity is a relationship between the put option and the call option. And I told you that you use put call parity. Me personally, I use put call parity whenever I want to calculate a put option. Why? I said that because put option formula is kind of complicated. Nobody tells you if you should use put call parity, but you can use it. It's allowed. So I told them I only use put call parity when I want to calculate my put option. Why? Because my put option formula is complicated. So what you do is you calculate your call. The formula is in the material. Calculate your call option. Then when you calculate your call option, you substitute into the subject of formula to determine your put option, like that. So that also now led us to our real options valuation. Our real options valuation is when you use option to actually make capital investment decision. Can you see where option is leading to capital investment decision now? So you can also use a real option to make capital investment decision, which led us to where we said we have option to we have types of real option. We have option to abandon, we have option to expand, we have option to delay, we have option to what? We have option to switch. So where we said each of them means something. And I told you in class, I said an option to abandon, it means that you are abandoning a project. Like you are abandoning the project. You are not going back there again. You are leaving the project. And I said, if you are abandoning a project, it means that you want to. It's an option to sell, and an option to sell is a put option. So I think I said option to abandon automatically means a put option. I gave different scenario in class that day, and I also spoke about option to expand. Expand means you are buying more things to the business now. So I said option to expand automatically still means an option to. It means an option to buy. An option to buy is a call option. And we spoke about option to delay too. We said option to delay. Delay is not denial. Delay does not mean that you're not going back. You just leave it. And when you come back, you most likely continue. It's just delay. It's not abandon. You just delay it. So a delay option can also mean option to buy, which also means a call option. And the last option is option to switch. And I said option to switch can mean either option to buy or option to sell, depending on the scenario around it. Lobato. So that's that we spoke about this night. Oh yeah, shoot. Ask me question. Question me before I go and solve. Oh yeah, 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 oh yeah. Nasir Ibrahim, talk to me.
Hello.
Hello, I'm listening to
in investment appraisal,
In
you
what?
mentioned the terminology in investment appraisal.
Yes, sir.
The terminology that someone can know, and this one is year one. For instance, current terms. What are the other terminologies? That is my first question, sir.
Okay.
And the
So
second one,
please let me answer them one by
okay,
one.
sir.
Because
Okay,
if you
sir.
ask the second question, I would have forgotten the first question. So let me ask them one by
Okay,
one.
okay.
So
Okay.
mostly is year zero that has terminology, and year zero they can
Yes.
tell you currently or current term. They can tell you immediately. They can say as at now.
Okay.
So I've given
Okay.
you the terminology. So it's not left to you to understand what they are trying to say as at now, currently, presently. So all those things that can indicate today, as at today, those that can indicate that can indicate that it means they are talking about now. Any word that means that they are talking about now, it means year zero.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. So my second question, this bond holder and bond issuer is confusing me, sir.
What's confusing you there? You don't like the
Yes, for me
terminology.
to identify. Yes, for me to simply identify who is a bond holder and who is a bond issuer.
Like the name implies, now a bond issuer is who issues the bond. It's the person that is like is the person that is borrowing out the money. I told you, examples of bond issuer like federal government, state government, the IMF, the World Bank, and bond holder is the person that is borrowing the money. Bond is a debt. Bond is a debt. So you that you are holding the bond, you are in debt. You have to pay back the money.
Okay, sir.
So you pay back the bond. You pay back either the interest and the capital if it is a redeemable bond, like that.
Okay.
Are we fine?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Oladipo Rashid, ask me.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you very much for this wonderful section. So my question is, under investment appraisal, opportunity cost, as you mentioned, is it an outflow or an inflow?
Come again.
Opportunity cost under investment appraisal. So under relevant and irrelevant cost, is it an outflow or an inflow?
Okay, I like that question, but opportunity cost can be actually a question where opportunity cost serves as an inflow. So I would say that it depends on the story behind it. But usually, like the name implies, is a cost. So it's usually an outflow. Usually, but I've seen a question. I think I solved it in this class. I cannot particularly remember, but I think we solved something like that. Where opportunity cost, where the other one was an inflow. But mostly is a cost, so it'll be an outflow.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah. Is that all the questions I have?
So, sir, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
So I remember you mentioned this relationship where work can under work where bond can come in. So you're trying to explain the cost of debt, redeemable and irredeemable, the formulas. We're also trying to explain under preference share, redeemable preference share, and irredeemable preference share. So you stated some of the formulas. So I don't know. I think maybe there was mixture or something there.
I'm definitely sure there will be mixture. Like I said, I was not so sure of those formulas, but the redeemable ones, are the ones that has to do with they're the ones that have to do with the youth maturity and the likes. But that's the redeemable bond, either redeemable bond or redeemable preference shares. But for what's the name now? But for the irredeemable bond and the irredeemable preference shares, I'm sure for irredeemable preference shares, the formula for irredeemable preference shares will either be dividend over x div share price times 100 over 1. Your x div share price is the one that you get now. In most questions, they will give you cum div. which is cumulative dividend. So you need to convert that cumulative dividend to X dividend. So you do your share price plus your cum div. I'm already taking people out of your lane. But anyways, to get your X div, that's for irredeemable share price. But for irredeemable bond, there's a formula to it. It's interest open brackets 1 minus T over, I think, X interest, X int share price, something around that lane. Something around that, yeah. Anyways. I don't know if I'm correct. Is it good at writing the exam next week? Is it good that should be telling me now?
It's correct, sir. It's correct.
Yes, you're correct.
It's correct.
I know book now.
Thank you.
Is that all, Mr. Rashid? Check your. I think Mr. Tukbe should have mentioned that. But do I make sense? Does it make sense to you? Hey, Mr. Rashid.
It does. It does, sir.
Thank you. So that is. You're welcome. But I will give you a little bit juggle around your business valuation, so you can still see the linkages around some other aspect that most of you are not. Most of you are just cramming. You don't understand the basics. But we can first do the one that is my own first. Mr. Clement, talk to me.
Hello, sir. I still want to ask a question on that bond, like the holder and the issuer. Like I subscribe to a federal government bond now. I'm the one giving out my money. I'm the investor. Am I the holder or the issuer?
You have given
Sorry,
out
I'm taking.
No, Wala. You have
Yes.
given out the bond now. You have issued the bond. The person that collected the money from you is the holder.
Okay, that in this case, federal government is the bond holder.
Who did you give your bond to? You invested where?
Like I'm purchasing, like I'm subscribing to a federal government bond.
You are investing now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Am I the issuer or the holder?
So you gave federal government your money. Then you are collecting interest.
Yes. Yes.
In this particular case, federal government is the holder because they are the one that they are paying the interest and they are paying the what's the name? The interest and the principal. So they are the holder, they are the issuer.
So in that case, I'm the issuer. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Osman, anything for me? Mr. Osman. Okay, so let me go to solve my option pricing question. So please, you can open the material if you have it. Isaac Precious, want to tell me something?
No, sir, sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay. So please, if you have the option pricing question, let me just explain. I don't think I would solve it because I've explained what's bond. So I'll just explain what is it. Let me look for the question and explain. So you guys will see what they are doing there. Option pricing. Oh, what is paining me? It's always sweet not to write exams. So Jesus is Lord. I'm very relaxed. 5 hours sleep, 6 hours sleep. Can any of you sleep 6 hours now? For where? Alarm. You set alarm. You even wake up before your alarm. It's you that will use your hand to off your alarm. Pressure to wow. No, you will pass. You will pass in Jesus' name. It is a God forbid any kind of sleep. I cannot put that kind of prayer now. I'm even looking. I'm looking for sleep. I sleep very well. Sleep like a baby. On that people's exam day like this, I'll just do Netflix and chill. Me and myself, I'll be watching Netflix. You'll be an hot seat. Please qualify this diet awake, so you can be watching Netflix with me. So this is the question. Apex, a property development company, has gained planning permission for the development of a housing complex at Rumudara, Port Harcourt. Is anybody from Port Harcourt here?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
People know Rumudara.
Are you sharing your screen?
Rumudara.
Yes, I am.
I cannot see you.
Oh, sorry. I think I've stopped sharing at some point. Sorry. So you know Rumudara?
I stay in Rumudara.
Wow. That was my. I think I stayed around there when I served in Peach.
Yeah, and you studied in Protec.
Ah. You are taking my background history. You already carrying things behind my back. How did you know? How did you know? How did you know I studied in Protec?
Because I know you.
Ah. Please text me after this class. I don't like when you people know me. They always break my heart. Please text me. Let me see if I know you, please. Thank you. So, like I was saying, so this is the question: Apex property development housing
Please, where can
complex.
we get the question, please? It's not on the group.
It is on the group. Option pricing theory is on the group. It's at the last page of the option pricing material.
Okay,
So, you're welcome. I'm not writing anything. If people are going to solve this question last, I'll just explain the scenario, and I would also open a Pathfinder and still explain. That one is a different way. Somebody sent it to me yesterday, the day before yesterday, any which way. So he said that housing complex Arumuda Port Harcourt, which will be developed over a 3-year period, the resulting property sales, like less land purchase and building costs, would have an expected net present value of 4 million if the investment was made immediately. Cost of capital is 10% per annum. Immediate building of the housing complex would be risky as the project has a volatility attaching to its net present value of 40%. Apex as an option, a plot of land in Umunda at a good price of 24 million, which will be exercised within the next 2 years. The risk-free rate of interest is 6% per annum. First question: estimate the value of the option to delay the start of the project of 2 years using the PSOP model. Option to delay means what?
It's call option.
Okay, so since you already know it's a call option, so when you bring out your derivatives, your PA, your PE, your PA, which is your price of the underlying, your P, which is your excess price, you bring out your time, you bring out your what again? What was the other thing again that I used to bring out?
Standard deviation time.
You bring out your standard deviation, and you bring out the last one, your risk free. Good. So now, and I explained to you the other day, I said your PA also means what? It's in the material. I think PA also means your present value. I explained it's in the material, is it not? Tell me it's not. Let me open it now. Is it there or not? You should tell me now.
It's there, it is.
You
It's there.
people are not reading. Read the material, is there. I'm trying to look for it, but I know I put it there. That PA also means your present value
It's
of the
down.
material. It's down, Abi?
Yes. You've passed this.
I passed it again. Madam, are you sure? Then look for where I wrote it to. Madam, this
When
madam
you
is confused.
were explaining what each of those terms means.
Okay, line is up now. I cannot see it though, but I know I
One
kept
of
it
those
somewhere.
questions you solved.
Yes, I'll go down. It's down a little bit.
Nobody's just saying it's down, it's down. Nobody's pointing me to where it is.
It's under black hole. Yes, okay.
Where is it though?
And so I scroll down small, wait.
Yeah, it is. Go
Yeah.
down. No, the other one.
Yes, I'm seeing it just now, no? Current market price of the underlying item.
Okay, see it here.
Where you
Okay. So but this is not even the way I want it to be, anyways. But yeah, I'm sure if I know, I'm sure I've mentioned something like around this thing. I'm very sure.
So you even put it in the other one. There are two places.
There are two places that it's been. So I'm sure I
There's
mentioned it that
the
your PA
present
means
is a
your
present
PA
value.
means your present value of the option. PE means initial outlay. PE, you can write it down now. PA means your present value of the option. PE means initial outlay. Good. If you have gotten that, then you are very good to go now. So let's go and solve this question. So PA means present value. PE means what? PE means initial outlay. In this question, what's our present value? What's our present value in this question?
4 million.
What's our present value? What do you say our present value is, sir? Okay, let me ask you. Okay, let me first ask you also. What's our net present value?
Net present value is 4 million.
Our net present value is 4 million. What is our initial outlay?
Yeah, actually,
24 million.
24.
24 million.
So what is our present value?
present value is
20.
We'll
I don't
discount
hear
using
20.
of capital of 10%.
I don't hear 20. I
20
can't hear
million times discounted factor.
20 million times discounted factor. Well done, you don't. I've heard 20, I've heard 28, I've heard Canada. I don't hear England. There's nothing I've not heard here today. What is my present value? How do we get present value, class?
Present value is net cash flow multiplied by the discount factor.
Sorry, present value is 20. Initial outlay minus the NPV.
Hold on. Let me take account. As an accountant, now I have to take account. So you're saying, what did you say again, madam? You said initial outlay. Let me just use IO. You say initial outlay what?
Yes, minus NPV. Sorry, minus NPV.
Cash flow.
Minus MPV. You give me present value, Abi.
Yeah, that should
No.
Good. Very good. Very, very good. Well, how did you generate this thing?
So I think it will be plus MPV.
No.
Should I tell you guys?
It's 28, sorry, it's plus. Sorry.
Initial outlay minus PV, then it's got
Like
to
initial outlay is always negative. So MPV minus initial outlay.
It is
There's a 40% attached to the net present value too.
But leave 40% first. First, give me present value. Leave 40% first.
Okay, present value is 28.
I'm not saying it's not 28. How did you get 28 in Emotion?
You have 24 plus 4, that's 28. I made a mistake. Instead of that minus is plus. The instead of that minus should be plus.
So it should be plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our net present value is positive, so definitely our present value will be higher than our initial outlay.
Yes.
You're not what. Let me explain what's happening to you guys, so that we don't waste time here. So this is what we do normally. Our initial outlay plus. We always add all our present value now to give us our MPV. Is this not what we always do? Down.
Yes.
Your initial outlay. Your initial outlay is always negative. Now then you now add all your present value now that you discounted everything. You now add it to your MPV. Then you get to your PV, to your initial outlay. Sorry, to get your MPV. Abi,
Yes.
Sir.
Damilo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Good.
I don't
So
understand you.
you don't understand what part of this thing.
What you just said now.
How do we get NPV now? You first get all your cash flows. Then all your cash flows, you discount them now. So after you've discounted them,
Yes, sir.
you add everything together. Let's say your initial outlay is 1,000. Then you do all your PV. Your PV, let's say 500, 200, 300, everything is like 1.5. So you add everything to 1.5. Then you do 1.5 minus 100
Initial
now.
outlay.
And 1,000 minus the initial outlay now to get 500 to be your MPV. Abi?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Good. So that is that thing that we just did here. This is it here. Initial outlay is always in negative. Your PV, everything is always, you add everything together to get your MPV. This thing is just subject to formula. Now. Then let's do our PV. So automatically our PV here now equals what? Our NPV plus our initial outlay. So what's our NPV in this question? What's our NPV in this question?
4 million.
At the day, 28.
4 million.
So what's our initial outlay? Our
MPV
initial outlay is now
24 million.
4 million. So automatically our so our what is now 28? Our present value is now 20. So it means that our PA is 20.
Yeah.
Our initial outlay is what? 4 million naira. But believe me, you still cannot use this 28 like that.
Oh, yeah. It's me, auntie. You've been in the kitchen since. It's sure they don't even
You don't
want
start.
to. Don't care.
You don't start.
Yeah,
You
you
mute
go
yourself.
there.
You
Can't go
talking
and
to me.
we are not. You just
Blessing, please, is your mic.
This please. Mary Emmanuel, I beg. Ha. Oh. So where was I? So I was saying that, hey, but you still cannot use this 28 million naira like that. Why can't you use this 28 million naira like that? Let me read something to you. He said that the question is, let me see something. I'm coming. I'm trying to look for the question. Okay. So let me read one part to you of the question why you cannot use this. It was like, the question was, you know, this formula are net present value was like the resulting property sales less land purchase and building costs will have an expected net present value of 4 million naira. He now went ahead and said that would have an expected net present if the investment was made immediately. So whatever we got now is our immediate present value. This is our immediate present value. What we just got now is our immediate present value. It has not been discounted. And you know that before it is called a present value. You know, before you just get cash flows now. Cash flows is cash flow. Once you discount a cash flow, it becomes a present value. You're telling me, I bet if you miss it, are you following me? A cash flow is a cash flow. 10,000 in year 1, 20,000 in year 2, 10,000 in year 3. They are all just cash flows. But the moment you discount a year 3 cash flow to today's value, that is until then that it becomes a present value. If you have not discounted, it is not a present value. It is just a value. It is just a cash flow. But the moment you discount it, it becomes a present value. The moment you add it or subtract it from your initial outlay, it becomes a net present value. Getting back. So that present value that we had here before, it is just values. This 28 million, it is just our immediate as of today. Like I told you, we have not discounted it. So that 24 million naira needs to be 24, 28 then. That 28 million naira needs to be discounted first. So now, how do you now discount? What's our cost of capital? Our cost of capital is 10%. Good. 10%. How many years do we have? 2 years. So 10%, is it 3 years or 2 years?
Yes. 3 years, sir. 3 years.
3 years.
be developed over 3 years.
Hold on, I'm make I look the question very well. Will be success within. See it here now. You will be no. Hold on. This is the question. This is the question. I think I had not even noticed. It was like the housing complex at Mudara will be developed over a 3-year period. That one is their own business. And I told that APS has an option to purchase a plot of land in Mudara at an agreed price of 24 million. This is the initial outlay, and this is your business, which must be exercised. The option must be exercised within the next 2 years. This one is the one that is your business. This one is wait, the question. Understand the question now. Property development company, they have gained planning permission from development of a housing complex at Mudara, which will be developed over a 3-year period. The whole housing complex, they want to build a complex at Mudara is like a market. It's not like a market, but it's like a junction. So like they want to build a housing complex there. The housing complex will be developed over a 3-year period. That one is their business. But our own business is this land that it wants to purchase. Before you can build a complex, you buy land now. So it's the land that has the option. It's the land that is not a 3-year period, it's a 2 years period. So is this option, is it a good option that we'll look at, which will exercise within the next 2 years? Somebody's unmuted. Is this 2 years period that you used to look at that option? So you will now use 10, you will discount 10% for the next 2 years. So what is the discount factor of 10% for 2 years? The first year is 0.99, the second year is 0.826. So you now do 0.826 multiplied by 28 million. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? Oh yeah, you don't have calculator.
23.128.
23.128. Let's round it up. 23.13. So automatically 23.13 now becomes your what? Your adjusted PA. So that is the one you will use. 23.13 now becomes your adjusted PA. So that is the one you will use. So your PA now is 23.1. Your PE is 24 million. That 40% that Madam is saying is volatility now. And volatility is our standard deviation, Abi.
Yes, sir.
So 40% is not even part of what we have found. We told you it has a volatility. Volatility is standard deviation. That one is not negotiable. So 40% standard deviation 0.40. What is this 40%? Volatility 40%. What do we have here again? Time to expiration 2 years. What do we have again? Risk free. What are our risk free? Our risk free is 0.06%. Low button. Yeah, anybody that is a calculator, let's go and treat it together. Fast. My system is low. So your D1 now is PA over PE plus how are you people there? Are you people doing it? You go and do it later. Move on. So you guys go and do it later. I've explained the hard part now. The rest is
No, we are not getting.
We need explanation more.
We need explanation more, please.
What explanation do you need now?
So please, that discounting part, I didn't really get that part. Can you explain just briefly, please?
The formula you gave, please. I don't know which one is standing for PV, which one is standing for NPV.
Madam, were you in the class when we did option pricing?
Me?
Yes.
The person that is telling you.
I was in the class. What I'm saying is that the formula, you say PV equals to NPV plus initial. So the one you now say 4 million plus 24 equals to 28. That 4 million, is it for P? The 24 million.
This was what I did, madam. Your NPV in the question is for. I can hear you. This was what I did, madam. Can you see my screen?
I'm not hearing again,
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello?
Madam, is you I'm talking to now?
Yes, sir. Please, I'm not in his network. I'm not just seeing it. I'm here, but I'm not seeing anything. Please don't expect to hear me here, please. Sorry, sir.
Your PV equals to NPV. Your initial outlay is in negative. Initial outlay plus PV will give you NPV. Your PV equals, if you do subject of formula, your PV equals NPV plus initial outlay. According to the question, our NPV is 4 million. Outlay is 24 million. Automatically, our PV is 8 million.
Okay, our NPV is 4 million.
Yes, now it's in the question.
Okay. Okay.
Initial outlay is 24. 24 plus 4 gives you 28. And 20.
Okay.
Discounted 28 million by 10% for 2 years. So that we had 23.13.
Okay.
Understand it's 28 million, but the fact of discounting it again by that 10% is the one I'm not still so clear with.
I know what?
So clear with yet.
Why we are
How can
discounting
you
it,
give 28 million?
or why we discounted it?
Why we discounted it?
It's in the question now. My this class will going to be bastard on this. 1 minute, let me plug my system.
Jesus.
Yeah, madam, I can hear you. Sure, madam. Yeah, I'm with you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
The madam that asked me question, I'm with you now.
Yeah, so you said it's in the question, like after that 28 million that we got, the next step we took.
It was to discount that 28 million. We discounted the 28 million. I already explained. We discounted 28 million. Let me open the question. But if you read the part of the question, there was a part there that says something about the expected net present value of 48 million if the investment was made immediately. So, like this 28 million that we got is an immediate present value. Like what I'm saying is, let me open it. Okay, so they were like the resulting property sales, land purchase, and building costs would have an expected net present value if the investment was made immediately. All these things they are still trying to, how would I say it? They are not in year 2. They are not. They are in year 0. They are now. They are in today. So they're just trying to portray. They're just trying to bring in possibilities. They're just trying to calculate all these things. So this present value that we had is an immediate present value.
Okay.
It's not been discounted. It is an immediate present value. So it needs to be discounted first. The old present value needs to be discounted first. I know I explained to you guys. It needs to be discounted first to get for present value of the next 2 years. So that you can have a present value of the next 2 years. You know, I explained to you, I said that was when I now said that a cash flow is just a cash flow. It is until it's discounted before it becomes a present value. Until it's discounted before it becomes a present value. So, but this particular one that we had now is as at now. So it needs to be discounted. And that's why I told you not to streamline your thoughts to one particular way. You can solve some questions, and this particular one is not discounted. It depends on the story around the question. It's because this one was saying was made immediately. So that's what we just assumed that okay, it's an immediate present value. So that's why we discounted it.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yeah. Another question. Any other question? You guys say you need explanation.
Sir.
What do you need explanation? Yes, sir.
Sorry, sir. When we were discounting for this one, I noticed you mentioned of year 1 is 0.909 and year 2 is 0.826, and we only make use of that 0.826, sir. I don't know. That's when we use.
You are discounting for year 2 now. You're not discounting for year 1. You don't have a cash flow for year 1. It's just year 2. So you just multiply by the cash flow by the discount factor for year 2. If it's year 3, you just multiply for the discount factor of year 3.
All right. Thank you very much.
I hope I don't have any other question regarding this. See if I can cancel. I'm cancel this one. Oh, shit. There's another question regarding this. So you guys should solve it now. So let me just be open you as let me just be putting you through. I don't have the time to solve it. Let me just be putting you through. Anybody that has pen and calculator now can be solving with me. So, and I'll appreciate if somebody has calculator so that when I'm calling the figure, somebody is pressing for me because I don't have anything with me here. And I don't have strength to solve this question this minute. I already solved their part now. So we brought out all our variables now. We said our PA is 23.13, our PE is 24 million, our standard deviation is 40%, converted to decimal 0.40, our time to expiration is 3 years, our risk-free is 6%, converted to decimal 0.06. So the first thing you do is you calculate your D1. So you want to calculate your D1. Formula for D1 is what? Ln PA over PE plus R plus 0.5 S square, close bracket, time over standard deviation square root time. Good. So therefore, our D1 now equals to what's our PA? 23.13 over 24, close bracket, plus what's our R? 0.06 plus 0.5 is constant, multiplied by what's our S? 0.40 squared, close bracket, 2, which is our time, over 0.40 square root 2. Is anybody that's writing it down?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not seeing what you are calling, and then the screen is coming off and on.
If it's coming off and on, is your network, and I'm not even what I'm calling is not even on my screen. I'm calling it from the informations I've given.
Ah.
People will think I'm a wicked person now. I've explained this thing in class now. I should not be solving this question again.
D1. I got 0.429. I don't know if I'm correct.
Yes, same here. 0.429.
Approximately 0.43. I told you to always approximate your D1 to decimal place. Yeah, 0.43. So please check let's do D2. So this person will snap and send the solution to the group chat. Yeah, please do D2. D2 is your D1 minus S square root C. Anybody that does not understand, please watch our last class on option pricing. I did all these things there. You cannot expect that I spent 4 hours. That class was long. It was 9 to, I think we finished like after 12. Then I will spend that 4 hours and I will have to come and solve it again. You should pity me too now. It's blood I'm using, I'm not using fuel. So D2 is D1 minus S square root T. That's our formula. So all those formula is in the material. And everything is there. You can watch the video on YouTube also.
Back of the icon question.
Hmm?
You said it's at the back of the icon question also.
So what did you get for your D2?
Negative 0.14.
Negative 0.14.
Thank you. So let's calculate our ND1 and our ND2. So our ND1 now check 0. What's our ND? What's our D1 again? 0.43, Abby.
43.
So check
Yeah.
0.4 under 3. What do you have?
That is 0.16828.
0.4 under 3. Are you sure?
Is 0.1664 plus 50, 0.50.
So plus 0.5. So what do you have for ND1? Plus 0.5. What do you have for ND1?
0.667.
No, for your leave your ND1, leave your ND1 in 4 decimal places. Only your D1 because you want to
Okay.
check a number, because you want to check a distribution table now. Where you're converting it to 2 decimal. But for your ND1, 4 decimal, please.
0.6664.
Good. Oh, yeah, check ND2. The other madam, are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So ND2, I hope most people are with me, Sha. You're not just calling figure for me.
I'm not with you.
No, most of are not with you.
Madam, you speak for
So
yourself.
I'm not with you.
It's only you that knows. And I don't know if I want to start explaining option pricing. Oh yeah, ND2. What's our ND2? We had minus 0.14, so check 0.1 under 4.
That's 0.557.
So since it's negative now, you subtract 0.5.
Okay.
So what do you have?
Obioma.
I have 0 minus 0.443.
What?
When you were there, when I was
Madam, please mute your mic now. Waba. You were saying something, please.
0.057.
The answer is minus 0.4443.
Please hold. Please hold. Sir, what did you say you had?
0.057.
And now you subtract 0.5 now since it's negative. No, we
The
adding
initial figure 0.1 under 4 is 0.557. So minus 0.5 is 0.057.
No, I think you are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, this is how you
Okay,
do it. This is how you do it. You add 0. Your 0. When you check 0.1 under 4, you add 0.0557. Abi. Don't use it direct. Write it down. Now write 0.5 minus.
Okay.
I got the same thing with him, just that there's negative in front.
Yes, negative 0.057.
I'm already lost. Though. What is giving you negative 0? Is this what's your 0.1 under 4? So what do you have?
0.1 under 4 is minus 0.7.
Hold on. So what do you have?
So yes, sir. Based on the way you asked me to do it, 0.5 minus 0.556 equals to minus 0.057.
That's not what you are doing, sir.
I'm lost.
Yes. Let me press my calculator myself. People shall want me to solve this my first by fire.
Hello, sir. Please, I'm talking. I said I can look at it. I'm lost.
I can hear you. Madam was calling me.
Hello, sir.
can hear you, madam.
Sorry. Please, I got lost at some point. Please, I don't know the values they used for the price of the underlying asset. I heard you mention 23.13. But for my calculator here, I'm having 23,128. I don't know if I'm wrong.
You have 23. What?
23,128.
Yeah, we approximated to 2313 now. It's just rounding up.
2313. Okay, so then what's the price of what's our excise price then?
The initial outlay, 24 million. Abi? The initial outlay now 24 million.
24 million.
Mm.
Okay, so we can use that as 24,000.
You can use that as 24.
24. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So 0.1 under 4 is 0.557. Abi? 0.05, not 0.557 or 0.0557. Look at it here. I'm saying my
Yes.
screen, that's it. This point, before this point, there's zero there. Don't just go and use what this means is 0.0557. Good. So if you get 0.0557, you will now do 0.5 minus 0.0557. Did your answer change?
No, sir, it's the same.
Yes, the answer changed.
The answer is 0.4443.
4443.
Okay.
So go and get good calculator. So I think that's 0.44.
Okay, yes.
So put everything, put it in a call, put it in the value of a call option, and I think you would have your answer. So for people that are not with me, for people that did not get what we did, you will go and do it yourself. But this is what I will do for you. I hope you, okay, let me leave this. I hope you understood how we did all of this, how we got all of this. What we did was in the question gave us our initial outlay, and the question gave us a present value. But the question did not give us, the question gave us initial outlay and gave us our net present value. Please, people will not listen now. Later I'll be here, I'm not with you. Or I got, please. This is the 1 million times I'm explaining this particular question again.
We are listening, sir.
Believe me, I will not solve it. I will not solve it because I've solved something like this before. It's just this part that I know I've not explained, and I've explained it. The rest, I've solved the question like that. So, what we did was we said the question, they gave us our initial outlay and they gave us our MPV. The initial outlay they gave us was 24 million, and the MPV they gave us was 4 million. And we derived this formula from our normal daily investment appraisal, where we said our initial outlay is always in negative now, plus our present value will give us our MPV. Since it's like this now, so since we are looking for PV in this question, so we make PV subject of formula, automatically you are bringing your initial outlay to this side. Then it means your PV equals your MPV plus initial outlay. So the PV they gave us in the question, they did not give us PV. So our MPV they gave us in the question was 4 million. Initial outlay was 24 million, automatically equals to 28 million. I now said that the PV they gave us in the question, they said it is an immediate PV. Read the question very well. That the NPV, since they said the NPV is immediate, automatically means the PV2 is immediate now. Since you use the NPV to get since you use the PV to get NPV, so since the NPV it means your PV also is immediate. So since they said the PV is immediate, that's why we now need to discount it so that we get the PV of 2 years. So what we now did was we now did 28 million times what's our discount factor for 2 years, which is 1 plus r raised power minus n, which is 1 plus r raised power minus 2. So I think that was 0.8826. So if you multiply this, you have something like 23.13. So automatically, what we are now saying is your PA then becomes 23.13. Your PE is 24 million, which is your initial outlay. Initial
Sir, is the screen supposed to be showing?
Is the what?
I say, is the screen supposed to be showing? Because it's just your cat that is displaying on my own screen. I don't know whether other people. Your screen is showing.
showing. His screen is showing, please.
I think it's your answer. So my time is 2 years. And I explain why it's 2 years. My standard deviation is 40%, which automatically equals to 0.40, and our risk free is what? What are we risk free again?
6%.
0.6.
6% automatically becomes 0.06. So all these things, go and check out we did our previous. Since you've gotten here, you are fine. Go and put it in all those formula that we did earlier, that we gave in our option pricing. If we're in our option pricing class the last time, you are good. All these things, just go and put it in that formula and get it. That is all. The only place I might give you problem is when you do your D2, because your D2 is negative. Your D2 is minus 0.14 if you listen to what we've been saying since. So the only problem is you check your 0.1 under 4, but instead of adding 0.5. You know, the problem is when you get it, you can always add with addition, you can always add addition straight. But you know that 1 minus 2, okay, let me say 1 minus, sometimes 1 minus, how would I use this example now? 0.5 minus 3 is different from 3 minus 0.5 sometimes. So that's the problem. So you need to structure it very well. So if you do your minus 0.1 under 4, whatever you get, write it somewhere. You now do 0.5 minus your answer. All of us know how to check normal distribution table now. I've explained all those things in the first time. To check your normal distribution table, then do the necessary. You get your answer. Your answer is supposed to be, anybody that has done the color, I think 5.96. Okay, let me first say your D1. Let me give you answer for your D1 so that you can always know what you are looking for. So your D1, people that did D1, what was our answer? I think 0.43.
0.43.
Yes. 0.43.
Then D2 was minus
0.14.
Our ND1 now was what?
0.6664.
0.6664. Our ND2 was what?
0.4443.
4443. So and your call option was 5.96 million. So you have your answer. So please let's us go and try. Impute. You can snap this. Nobody should tell me to send this one. People don't know. People don't know we are tired. We've been at this things in May till November. Power Abba. No. We are done with solving questions, please. This is just time to chill for us. Because we only have November and December. We are back at January again. People will qualify now, you will not come back and come and teach. People will run away. We will still start January again. People like us that we still have accounting software training. We are still starting that one in the next 2. If you don't want me to rest, I beg you. So thank you. So anybody, people can just screenshot. People that do not get what we say, you can screenshot this, check our formula, and check what we did in our last class. Just input it there and move on. I think that is fine. But please, like I said, don't streamline your thoughts to a particular question, so that this is the way they check a particular question, which leads me to a question a student sent to me. It's an icon Pathfinder. Remember, this is she sent it to me. I opened it here. So let me read the question for you. This question is almost the same thing what we just finished, but it's just a little bit different. Read this question. The question says that.
Please, which year question?
November 22. November 22, question 4. Tayo, the TK is a highly successful beverage company listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Its products are particularly attractive to the younger generation. A cool laboratory has developed an innovative synthetic alcoholic beverage, the Yonki. I believe that the product is manufactured commercially. I can know how to write story. Will be popular among the youth. This one is not my business. TK has been offered a license to produce the Yonki on the condition that it commences production within the next 12 months. In the last board meeting, the marketing director, Ken DK, presented the following preliminary evaluation of the project. These are our net present value. These are our present value. Recommended that recommended that the project should be rejected. However, the finance director argued that the condition a whole lot of debate. The current long-term government yield is 5%. The expected standard deviation of future cash flow is 35%. Comment on the views of their marketing director using Black-Scholes option pricing model and all. So now, my point is, what I want to point out is, with what we just did now, can somebody tell me my MPV? Can somebody tell me my PE and my PA? Without checking the back of it. Checking the back, and doing yourself.
Is the initial outlay, which is 4,750.
4,750.
YPA is the present value. That's 4,500.
So you're saying our what is 4,750? Our P 4,250.
PE is 4,750.
I'm enjoying this.
It's 4,250.
PE, which is initial outlay, is 4,750.
Any it's 4,250. I don't know the meaning of any su. Any su means hold on. Let's take account now. Let's take account. So please give me your answer and say your name.
Pikayo.
4,250. One by one, eh?
Pikayo.
To be 4,250. To be 40. You wish always account for your bad deeds. You say 4,250. Fikayo, you said what?
4,750 initial outlay.
PA.
PAs. Anybody that wants to give me any answer, it's only answers that are different from this that you can call. Anyone that is here, don't call for them. Don't call for me. Is there anyone that is different from this?
4,500.
I think the PA is 4,500. PA is 4,500.
Your name.
Joy.
I'll let your own food. 4,500. So this one is our PA, Abi?
No, the 4,750 is PE.
Who is talking now? Is it Fikayo?
It's Joy.
We are talking about PA now. What's your PA?
Okay, yes, 4,500, yes.
What we are talking about now. So let's go to PE now. So what's PE? Mr. Toby?
So sorry for Fikayo. PE is 4,750. YPA is 4,500.
Nimbo. What's lonely? Mr. Toby, what's your PE? Don't hang. Miss Joy.
Sir, PE is 4,750.
Hey, my students.
Minus 250.
250.
Minus 250.
Let's the question again.
Question again, please.
Here's the question, bro.
Not this one. Yeah.
This one is even very easy, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
P is 4,750, sir.
P what is 750?
PE, that's the initial outlay, is 4750.
Sir, the P is 45.
The PE is 45.
PA 45.
K is 45. P is 4750, sir.
PE 47.
Yeah, now let's explain the
So
that.
P,
And then the P is 4250.
Let's explain so that we don't waste time. The present value,
please,
what
sir,
means
before you go ahead, sir, please, what direct is this?
November 2022. So please, you can lay your hands on it because I'm not solving it all. You can solve it. November 2022.
Okay, no problem.
So please, which one is our present value? Our present value is it PA or PE?
PA.
Our present value is PA. PA.
Yes, sir.
Good. And it's written that our present value of future cash flows is 4,500. So that means our PA is 4,500. Settled. No problem with that. People that are saying 4,500. People that are saying 4,750, 4,250. People are wrong. PA is 4,500. The problem is PE. Good. And PE, you guys know that PE is our initial outlay. And let's go back to this our formula. Initial outlay. We are looking for initial. We are looking for initial now. And they've given us our MPV. Let me write the formula. Let me just copy this and write it here again. So now we are looking for our what? We are looking for our initial outlay now. So what's our PV in this question?
45.
45. What's our MPV?
Minus 250.
Subject of formula. Bring this other one here. So minus IO equals to minus 4,750. Abi?
Minus, yeah.
But it's not minus initial outlay you are looking for now, it's initial outlay. So minus with this one, we cancel this minus. So automatically, your initial outlay equals 4,750. So if you pick 4,750, clap for yourself. If you pick Canada, you're doing your own.
Back.
So your PE is 4,750. Your PA is 4,500, which leads to my next question. My PA now, am I discounting it or not?
You're not discounting it.
No, you're not.
Why am I
It's
not?
already future cash flow.
You will not discount it again now because they wrote that this is your present value of future cash flows. Did not say present value of immediate. If it was present value of immediate cash flows, fine, you go and discount. What is the present value of future cash flows? So automatically you don't need to discount this again. So with all of this I've said, you can solve this question by yourself. This is just November 20.
On that part, they didn't put the risk-free rate straight like they normally do.
They did now. It's not 5%.
Like I know it's government bond yield, but like they didn't put it as okay, your risk-free rate is 5%.
It's ICAR now. This free also means government bond yield. Risk-free bond yield. So it's you that they were expecting you to know. So, but if you have solved past questions very well, so this thing you just said, some students will sit down in the exam and be calculating risk-free. How? Like you'll be deriving formula to calculate risk-free. Something that they've given to you. You not calculate risk-free. You use formula that nobody gave you to calculate risk-free. You're not going to get like 20%. You will not use it. You will not come out and say you are finished typer.
God, I beg.
When the risk-free is just here, you'll be calculating with no lost. Your time is 12 months.
There's nothing like good lecture and understanding.
Please, just I don't even know what people should just calm down. Don't rush. If you see a question, don't rush and say, I know it. First, calm down. Read it very well first. Bring out your derivative before you start solving. When you bring out derivative, anything that you feel like you don't know or you feel like you've not seen before, Just calm down and understand what they are trying to see, what they are trying to do. In some questions, all the derivatives, by now you should know questions where all the derivatives should be given to you. And you should know some topics where are some things that you need to calculate. When you are doing let me say you are trying to do valuation now, and you are not watching out for growth rate, you should know at the back of your mind that there is 70% chance that I can ask you to calculate growth rate. You should know 70-80% should be at your back of your mind that they will ask you to calculate growth rate. It's not that you will not get there now. You will not be finding it shocking that they did not give you growth rate, but they tell you something is increasing, and they are giving you values to calculate growth rates. Are you meeting what I'm saying? They did not give you growth rate. They tell you that this thing is increasing, but they did not give you value for growth rate. Common sense is supposed to tell that you're supposed to calculate, and you're seeing information that are either telling you to use historical, they are giving you latest dividend, they are giving you base dividend. All those ones, they are for what now? Are they for to make question big? They're not for decoration. Now, you know that's what you're supposed to use to calculate growth. The growth you get is supposed to be what you use to now do calculate your cost of equity. That is how all these things works now. That is how they work. I beg, I beg now. There's one other thing I want to bring out of this question, because I know some people, you people are solution crammers. For my solution crammers, let me explain something to you.
And sorry,
In
sir,
this
the
solution,
12 months, are we going to divide by 12
I want to divide what by 12?
for the time?
Like divide 12 by 12, or this
Yes,
12
for the
months.
time to be 1 year. You know, it has to be in.
It's always a year, and I cannot use 12 months, so you like convert it to 1 year. So that will be one now. Something I even want to explain is not even the year. Okay, look at this solution now. Look at what they did here. Look at this, their ending one. Please look at my screen now, because some of you will look at solution and you don't understand what's happening. Look at this, their ending one now. See what they did. They did 0.5 plus whatever this is that they did. 0.0636 plus 0.34, 0. All these things, they are bullshit. Sorry for using that word. But anyways, that is what is in ICANN Pack. This is the way they did it in ICANN Pack too. You know the solution. The solution is somebody that did it now. It's not ICANN. You know now. Or you did not know. You did not know. Go and know today. This solution was not. It's not ICANN that did the solution. It's human being like me and you that did it. The solution. But the problem is the person just followed what is in ICANN Pack, and ICANN Pack has not been updated. This is the former way that they used to do these things. And the new way that we are supposed to do it is the new way me and you, that one that we taught in class. That's 0.5 plus normal distribution table. This one does not have anything to do with normal distribution table. All these things you are seeing here is not normal distribution table. This one is old method. I don't even want to go to how they got all these figures. I don't want to explain how they got these old figures. But most of them is the old way of doing it. So
More
please,
stress.
yes, so let's just stick to the one we know. Try the one we know. It might give you the same answer, it might not. But what we know is the same thing. That's one that is acceptable now, please. Because the student was telling me that she does not understand this thing, and it's not she will cram it. What you are cramming is going to be sure. So just understand the new way we are doing it is the new acceptable way. 0.5, go and check your normal distribution table and use it like that. If it's minus, you subtract 0.5 from it. So yeah, are we together? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you have any question?
There's this topic of forecasting of long-term financial performance.
Sorry, I didn't start this now. I didn't say. I'm asking the class. We taught it now. Didn't it teach forecasting?
Sir, is that not free cash flow?
No.
No, forecasting is forecasting. No,
As part of okay.
forecasting is forecasting. I think it taught forecasting. So, forecasting is a method of valuing your business now. Please, regarding this thing that I just did, do I have any question, any observation, any conclusion, any recommendation?
Excuse me, sir. The first question that you did there, where were you taking from? Where were you taking from?
Where was I
Is
taking
it
what from?
from the first question that you saw, question two? Is it the
Is it the
is it
what?
the last? Is it from this thing, the question bank from the option pricing or what?
Yes, from the question bank. I
Yeah,
think
I,
it's
I
an issue.
didn't join. I didn't join you people on time.
That's why you didn't get what I was saying earlier now. You should have just said that you did not join me on time. There's no way you would have understood what I was saying if you were not in the last class. Absolutely no way. So that's why. But just watch the video, like with the material, option pricing. I'm sure you'll get it. And the
So
question is, I
please, I
think
want to see. I want to see that place you listed D1, D2, and D1 from the first question, please. That I use it. I know how to get them, but just that the previous explanation, I didn't get it.
on that note, I think I'm in particular, I'm done with my revision class. Please, do you have any question for me? Good. In the absence of none. You have question. Yeah, madam, please screenshot this and I want to move away from here.
I've done that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I already said in the absence of none. Yeah, who is raising up your hand? Ikene Beatrice, talk to me. Or is it Ikine? I'm sorry. Miss Beatrice, let me leave the other one. Miss Beatrice, talk to me now. Okay.
Please, I want to ask this formula that they used to put under the back of the question paper, is it reliable?
Very, very reliable.
Very reliable. Okay, so that I won't bother myself cramming all those one again.
I have strength for that one.
You say?
It's very reliable. Very
Okay, now thank
reliable.
you. Okay, now thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So if you can check the back, but the problem is, let me tell you the problem with those back formulas. Problem with those back formulas is in some centers or in most centers or with some SFM formulas, you could have looked for a way to simplify that formula for you. And that is what they would have been using in class. And that is the only one you know.
Yes, I know. Not a normal you I have been using it to solve, even right now.
Thank
So,
you. Let me see.
Thank you.
So the problem is you will not get to that particular exam and check the one at the back, and then it will be different from the one your lecturer has been using. Then problem has started because you don't know how to use the one at the back. So what I always tell people is, since you've been going to classes since, you've been attending, you've been reading since, the formula you've been used to, as long as it is giving you correct answer, you've used it to solve one or two Pathfinders and it has given you the same answer, and that is the one that it has stick to your head. Leave it there. You don't have any problem saying this is not the time you want to leave that one and not going to start cramming the one at the back. No. Or you want to forget that one because there's one at the back. Don't do too much. The one that you've used before, that you know how to use, stick to it. That is the plan. Stick to the plan. Just stick to the plan. Use that one and leave those ones that you have at the back. You will still get the same thing. So before I do a general roundup of the OSFM, please hope I don't have any question with my own part. I don't think I have any question. Anyways, I've answered all the questions possible. So now let me do a general roundup. Then I will call it, we'll say the grace, and we'll move on from there. So now, strategic financial management. I know most of you are scared. I know almighty SFM, demonic SFM, a lot of things I've heard. But the problem that I've noticed is students always fail to find the correlation. Students always fail to find the interconnection. Students always fail to find the necessity, the necessaries. You just want to know what you are not supposed to know. You're not getting the basics. Let me explain what I'm saying to you. Now, if you look at what we've done this now, we've done bond valuation. If I were you now, you break down bond valuation, look for how possible bond valuation questions could come. First of all, value of a bond. Do you know how to calculate value of a bond? What are the things that are required to determine value of a bond? After value of a bond, the next way it could come is yield to maturity. Do you know how to calculate yield to maturity very well? The other way it could come is for you to calculate, so either you have duration, you have so I said duration, either you have like credit spread, basis point. That's another way you could come. Or another way you could come, duration. Do you know how to calculate your duration very well? If you know how to calculate your duration very well, another way you could come in is if your yield to maturity is different. Those are you've broken it down. So if you know how to do those ones very well, believe me, you know that okay, you are very gallant. Your business valuation, your mergers and acquisition is the one that has the most work to do. First of all, where do you start from? The discount factor, your cost of equity. How do you calculate your cost of equity? There are two ways to calculate cost of equity. You can either use dividend valuation method or you use what's the other one? CAPM. Good. With his dividend valuation method, you know the formula to use your dividend valuation. Your dividend over x price over x div share price multiplied by 100 over 1. If they do not give you x, most time they will not give you x div. They will give you cum div. How do you convert cum div to x div so that you are supposed to know all those things? After you get your dividend valuation method, the next one you can use your CAPM. In your CAPM formula now, how do you get your cost of equity? That's your CAP. You get your CAPM formula. Another way is okay. Now let's now say it now involves growth. What are the ways to calculate growth? Things that these things they are step by step. It's not as if everything came from heaven. No. How do you calculate your dividend growth? There are two ways to calculate dividend growth: historical growth, historical method, or Gordon's method. Any one of the information you see. If you see information, you are seeing latest dividend, you are seeing base dividend. You know this one is basically talking about you using what was the name? You using what was I saying? You using historical method. If you're seeing dividend per share, you're seeing all those things. You should know this one is supposed to use Gordon's growth. After you've seen your cost of equity now, your WACC, you see your WACC now. You already know how to calculate your cost of equity very well, either CAPM or dividend valuation. That is for equity. For debt, you know how to debt is usually redeemable, which is most likely IRR. Okay, now let's not assume it's not even redeemable, it's now irredeemable. What is the formula? You know the formula. Preference shares is usually redeemable. For redeemable preference shares, now you know the formula, it's still IRR. The one that is irredeemable, you also know the formula. And you know your WACC formula. Bam, you've gotten WACC. Like that. That's stable. You can always use your WACC to discount your whatever maybe it's investment appraisal, whatever you're trying to appraise. You can always use your WACC or your cost of equity. You only use your cost of equity if the capital structure contains only equity. You use your WACC if you have debt, if you have preference shares. That's when you use your WACC. If it's APV, you know that if it's APV that you are using, you will only use, okay, don't let me go there yet. Don't let me move there yet. So you use that for your business valuation. Okay, now let's now go to that business valuation. If for business, you can either use that or you can get your free cash flow. If it's free cash flow, you know how to do all this free cash flow that Mr. Idris has taught you. If it's not free cash flow, the other method that you can use to value your business, I think it's about 4 methods. So you can get all those ones and use those and learn those ones too. That's for business valuation. Go to mergers and acquisition. For mergers and acquisition now, for the discounting factor of mergers and acquisition, at the back of your mind, you're supposed to know that if it's mergers and acquisition, most likely is what you're supposed to use what they will give you is your proxy cost of is your project specific cost of capital. Is your project specific cost of capital. You use project specific cost of capital means this is the one that you have to use your proxy com. This is the point where you will get on gear. So if you see a question and the question is mergers and acquisition, have something at the back of your mind that you are regearing, you are on gearing, then you're going to use a project specific cost of capital. So you should have that at the back of your mind. So once you now see that mergers and acquisition, you already know that. So now let's go to how do you do your regearing and your ungearing. And I sent a voice note to all the group chat about how to regear, how to ungear, and all those things. So you know that the first step you do is you regear. You regear with your proxy company's information. And after you regear with your proxy company's information, you ungear back. You ungear. When you ungear with your own company's information. Then when you ungear, you will now go and put whatever. Okay, that ungear now. You will now the last step now. You use it. Then you put whatever you get in your CAPM formula. You to get your cost of equity. You get your cost of equity. That is just one step. You get your cost of debt also. You get your cost of preference shares. Then you get your discount factor. You go ahead, do your mergers and acquisition, whatever method you are supposed to use. You use that for your mergers and acquisition too, and you move on with it. Simple as ABC. It's just the problem is the story. The problem is just how easily can you interpret that story? How reasonably can you interpret that story? That's why I always tell my students, calm down, read the question like 2 times first, paint the scenario in your head, paint what they are trying to say in your head. The story is a normal story that has a flow. I can does not just give you any story. The story always has a flow. That's where it's coming from. He has a lock. You meant to try to determine that lock. Okay, this is where they want to lock this question. Then you find out to unlock it. Then you move on with the question. SFM is not hard. Believe me, it is not hard. Just understand the basics. If you understand the basics, the question can just look bulky. The question can just look like the English is too much. The question can just look like you cannot solve it. But any question that you see that does not look like you cannot solve, go back to your basics. Go back to your CAPM, your formula for your CAPM. Go back to it. Then use it. I'm not saying that all questions require CAPM. Any question that it is, if it's bond valuation, go back to the basics. Now go back to the basics. Now start bringing out the figures. Okay, this one is for this. This one is for this. When I do this, I will not do this. When I do this, I will not do this. When I do this, I will not do this. Then believe me, small. You just before you see you solve the question. And there are some little things that some students don't know that you are not supposed to do. That is what causes some problem. Example now, let's say you are trying to do let's assume you're trying to do work. When you're trying to do work now, your work would have had cost of debt. When you use your cost of debt, you're supposed to do your what's the name, IRR. When you do your IRR, the last year figure, the last year coupon, or the last year whatever, the last year figure is supposed to be net of tax. So you're supposed to have subtracted tax from one of the figures, from one of your coupon. You have done your 1 minus T. So if you have done your 1 minus T, when you get back to that your work formula, you are not supposed to still account for tax again. If you account for tax, that's like you are accounting twice for the tax. So once you have done it in that particular IRR, you are not supposed to do it again. But if you not do it in IRR, if you use this straight, when you get to your work formula, account for it, it will give you the same answer. When you get to your IRR, 1 minus T, the 1 minus T that is in your work formula, use it. But you would have not accounted for it when you were doing your IRR. But if you don't want to account for it in your work formula, then account for the tax. But you need to account for it once because you have to net your debt off tax. That's one of the things some students don't know. You just need to know some little basic things that can make you lose mark. Another thing I want to tell you guys is SFM is more of accumulation of mark. It's more of fighting for mark. You see a question that you know very well, that you know very, very well, that you know that when you are sleeping, you know it, and it's 10 marks. It's 10 marks. So, but the other ones that are under it, 5, we don't know them. So there's a particular question somewhere that you know that if you struggle for this question, the A, B, and C, at all, you will see 15. I always write it there that at all for me, because you know what you know from the depth of your mind, you know what you would. That okay, this one, maybe the question is 10 marks. You give it yourself. You give yourself average of 5. You know the B and C. You know the B and C. You can get 5. Believe me, leave that one that you know very well that the mark is very small. Go and do that one that you know you can scramble more mark. It's a fight. It's a fight for mark. Don't just go there without plan. Plan yourself. This is what I want to. This is what I want to achieve. This is how I want to go about it. I know my theories very well. The ones I don't know, these are the topics I don't know. For the topics I don't know, I know all the theories that can come out from those topics. Even those ones I don't know, I still have a little bit of idea about it. Just let me plan. What is my strategy? Mergers and acquisition. I know mergers and acquisition, business valuation, investment appraisal, international investment appraisal. I know all those things very well. So I think I should do very well. So it's just a strategy, it's plan. It's plan. If you plan yourself, you read very well, it's not too late. Believe me, you do absolutely well and you come out in flying colors. You pass SFM, you pass all your papers, and you be a chartered accountant by the grace of God. With all this, I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that this diet is your last diet in SFM. Please just prepare, read, solve questions. I'm still very much available to solve your questions. My only problem is these days I'm always on the move. So please, but yes, you can send me questions. The one I can attend to immediately. The ones that I might need to get calculator, those are the ones that are always my problem. Because before I'm mostly not at home. But the ones I can attend to on the road or anywhere, I always try as much as possible to attend to them. So by this period, I know exam is closed. So I'll try my best as much as possible to respond to any question as much as possible. So please solve past questions. I said it in the group chat. This is not the time where you go and carry one textbook that they say, this is the book that number one used to come out from. You will not go and start cramming the book, the one you know and the one you don't know. You will go and start cramming it. This is not that time, please. This is not that time. Carry past question, carry your material, watch videos, and what was it? And start solving. Now, leave book. Just start solving the ones you know. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I do not hope to see you guys here next year. I don't want to see any of you here next year. I need fresh students. People are already igweja. People are already bent. People cannot be bent again. I need fresh-minded people. You people are OGs. We have seen ourselves finish. So I need new students. People should pass this FM and chatter, I beg. Thank you very much, and
Thank you so much, sir.
I
Oga,
hope not.
Thank you so much.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Don't worry. We only hear your
Thank you
voice, but
very
you will
much.
not be in your class again.
Amen. No, amen. Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
God bless
sir.
Thank you.
you. We really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you
You're
very
Thank
much.
welcome.
you.
And we'll be having our schedule to anybody that is interested
Although
in
my
that. I'm sure it will be sent to the group chat later, Sha, so you can always join. Miss Mercy, you're here. Miss Joyce, are you still here? I told her to text me. I don't know if she's still here. I don't think she's here anyways. Oh, Joyce. She's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
So yeah, please don't forget to text me. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, so good night, everyone, and have a wonderful week ahead. And best of luck in your exams. The Lord is your strength. You shall
Amen.
pass.
Yes, you. Thank you, sir.
Amen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
God bless you.
God bless you too.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you so much. God
You're
bless you, sir.
welcome. God bless you too.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
God bless you.
Raposa.
Hello. 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 Hybrid. Hello. Hello. Please, is the class still on?
Answer. 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 Do you hear me? Yes or no? Stand up. Answer. Answer. Stand up. Foolish ready. Answer. Stand up. Stand up. Answer. See, class is on. You have slept. I said, don't lie in the bed. Eh? Going through what? So why are you not going through with them? I'm lying down on the bed. Stand up, point. Look on start. That's it.
Eh?
Hello, Madam Praise. Please log off your something. You are still on, please. Can you hear me?